Good evening, fellow Ravnicans, and welcome to the Broken Pact, the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica show here on twitch.tv/DND. My name is Ruben Bressler, and I will be your Dungeon Master, or... There's something else I could be.
I think it starts with a G.
Yeah. Oh.
No, I think Dungeon Master was it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the book...
No, Guildmaster! More appropriately, I'll be your Guildmaster for this evening, and these fine citizens are my players. Feel free to introduce yourselves.
Hi, my name is Jordan Pridgeon, and I am playing Astaroth, the Minotaur fighter of the Champion subclass. What's it called again?
Champion subclass, yes.
Yeah, sure,
So
yes.
you're a champion fighter.
And I am part of the Boros Legion.
Right.
The Legion of Justice and street keeping it clean and being good and stuff like that.
Not doing drugs and drinking your
No
milk.
drugs!
Stay in school.
Drinking your milk.
Aurelius
He's a
says,
fool.
don't
Loves
do
drinking
drugs.
milk. He's a Minotaur. He loves milk. He's a big dairy fan, this guy.
Yeah.
I am Riley Silverman. I am playing Velma Sweet. She is a half-elf bard who is a member of the Demure Guild.
Yay! We had that reveal last episode.
But we don't know that.
At least one guild. Yeah, you guys don't know that yet.
Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
still being cool.
Right. Well, cool because of the fan.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, I'm Garav, and I play Lucian Ladrian, the investigator and cleric from the Azorius Senate. That's it for him. He's very against drugs as well, but there's a lot of paperwork to fill out for all that stuff. So.
You're a cleric of order, which is a specific
yes.
class
Paperwork.
in the Guildmaster's
The
Guide.
Order Domain is
Order
a
Domain,
new subclass available in the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica, and it's very good. It's like a control mage instead of like a healing mage.
Which is now available. Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica. Right?
Yes, technically, yes. It is
At
now
your favorite
available.
local game store.
So all you blue players,
That's right.
they got you. I'm Ashley Rose. I play, wait for it, Tutoru, who is a Lexodon cleric of the life domain for the Celestian Conclave.
Great.
So now, for people who are mentioning it, we're not all playing white characters.
Yeah.
Oh.
Exactly.
They are all Demure.
But we're playing blue characters.
secretly.
together.
That's true, yeah.
It's like-
You guys are still aligned. That's
Yeah.
fair.
Got it.
Yeah, everyone's secretly a Demure. We just haven't gotten to their reveals yet. Right?
Yeah. I guess so.
Right? No. Okay, so we have a couple announcements to do first. We have a couple of giveaways this week. One of them will be a D&D book of one kind or another in the chat. Pay attention in the chat. Thank you, mods, for doing that for us. We also have another giveaway, which is another of these beautiful Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica bundles with 10 booster packs, among other things, and also that fancy spin down counter at random.
Ooh, boy.
And the premium foil of each basic land are also in these boxes for you Magic collectors. Guilds of Ravnica don't have basic lands in the packs, so the only way to get the premium foil basics is this, or there's like a way to get it at your local game store.
Right.
Oh, also
The
the
pre-con decks.
guild kits.
Yeah.
The guild kits,
Yeah.
that's also right.
Well, the best way to get basics is to order a pumpkin spice latte.
True.
Ah.
The guild kit basics look
They're gorgeous.
They're
Sweet.
amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica, folks, is available? Question mark? Right? It's available.
believe
Yeah,
so, yeah.
on the 9th.
Yeah.
Available.
At your game stores and online
Yes.
as of the 20th.
Nice. So yeah, go to your friendly local game store. Go get your copy of the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica. It really is a fabulous
It's
book.
great.
Good.
And I'm excited to get my hands on a non PDF copy, which would be fun.
I honestly think just like, even if you're like, okay, let's not use the entirety of this, like a setup like the guilds
Yes.
is such a cool
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
yeah.
thing.
There's a
and
lot of cool stuff that you can be like, oh, these is it. I can just drop them in Sharn, essentially.
yeah,
It's such a great tool for like building your character.
Oh yeah.
And if
Yeah.
you just want to play like a strictly urban environment,
Yeah.
but with like lots of angles to it, there's so much you can do with it, and so many of the guilds, like they were talking about on the panel you did at TwitchCon, like so many of the guilds lend themselves to different types of story playing, but all within this, like you can have like a post-apocalyptic kind of vibe, or you can have like more of an espionage vibe, like I'm doing, or you can have like a Law and Order, like Law and Order, like the TV show
Yeah.
with
Right.
Azorius.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
so cool. It's
Really cool stuff. And we have a an intermixed party, but you can do all Azorius or all Golgari or all Celestia kind of parties as well. It's a really cool system, and I highly
also
recommend
be
you go
very
out and pick
cool.
it up.
Yeah.
So feel free to join us as we adventure in Ravnica. Feel free to weave our story into yours. If we overlap in some way, that would be really lovely, and I look forward to all of that.
If you use Velma, I will find you and I will cut you.
So the way to, by the way, the way to
Copyright.
join the contests is !raffle in the chat. You do have to be in the chat at the end of the show in order to be able to win the prizes, either the Magic or the Dungeons and Dragons, which we both have because this is the Magic the Gathering Dungeons and Dragons show. Ready to go?
Let's do it.
Everybody good? Everybody put your hands in. No, I'm kidding. Everybody turn the lights down low, find your favorite comfy chair, get a nice throw pillow and a nice thick blanket, sit by the fire and enjoy this episode of Ravnica, the Broken Pact. Episode 5, Twisted Justice. Previously, on the Broken Pact. After their successful heist of the dead reveler, the party immediately found themselves back in the intrigue of the murder mystery in a nearby crime scene. The owner of a local bookstore specializing in ancient works was found dead, killed in a similar modus operandi to previous victims. Similar, but not the same. While each victim died of an unknown heat source within the skull, the dryad Voda Muki's death seemed peaceful and restful. Hebert of the Book Devourer and Mebin's, the Scholar's deaths, were much more explosive, leaving the skull damaged and a much messier crime scene. Hebert appeared to have been targeted as the result of a book, The Advocist and the Urchin, a first edition, no less, that was kept in an ornate box of unique Golgari design. That book is now missing, apparently sold to a mysterious collector known only as V, according to Hebert's receipt found below the desk. The Advocist and the Urchin holds the key not only to the original Embermine killer's identity, but also, if found, might lead right to the new copycat. The party rested for the evening before splitting the party and heading off in two directions. Velma, now able to have a few moments away from her compatriots, who do not know her true roots, plans to visit Dinrova Heights, the Demure headquarters of the surface world, while the other three made their way back to Azorius territory to hopefully clear their names of crimes they haven't even committed yet, levied against them by a precognitive mage. But as soon as they arrived back at Lucian's home office, an Azorius arrestor asked him to extend his hands and acquiesce to being placed under arrest. And that is where we will pick up. Investigator Lucian Ladrian, assignment number 0265 of the Layev column of the Azorius Senate, you are under arrest for aiding and abetting of the fugitive Tutoru of the Celestia. Astaroth of the Boros, you are under arrest for aiding and abetting of the fugitive Tutoru of Celestia, and for destruction of Azorius surveillance thopter systems. Tutoru of the Celestia, you are under arrest for pre-criminal intent for breaking and entering into the Jescarin's estate and for fleeing Azorius arrest. Lucian, please go to your office with Astaroth and wait for further instructions. Tutoru will come with us, and we will take you to central booking.
All right, Blue, what's the move here?
These are some very serious charges. On whose authority?
By authority of the Azorius Senate and of Hesperia herself.
Do I recognize these two?
I
I know Azorius is like New Prov's a very big place,
Right. So you were an arrestor recently.
Sure.
So you might roll a history check.
but okie dokie.
of the day.
Ooh, that 20!
All right.
It's a good start. It's a good
Yeah.
start. It's a good start.
The
It's a
two
good start.
people
Good
who are
day.
in front of you, we're gonna have a
So
map
24
here.
total. Sure.
So Tuturu and Astaroth are sort of standing behind Lucian as these guards here are standing at the door. I like this one in particular because it's got a little.
He's a little dandy. He's a cowboy dandy.
That's right. They're standing at the door. The one standing closer to you is a human person, human woman, who is clearly the one in charge. A little bit older. Not old, but probably late 30s as opposed to early 30s. The other arrestor is a Vidalcan woman, and the Vidalcan woman has a spear essentially, as his Azorius guard is typically wont to do, as opposed to being an arrestor.
So, do I recognize them before, or have I never seen these?
You've never seen either of these. You've probably, you may have seen, with your 20, I'll say that you've seen the Vidalcan in passing. You've never seen the human before, which is odd.
I presume you have all the paperwork.
Of course.
I would very much like to see this.
She will reach into her back pocket. As she does so, with your 20, I will say, because you're able to sort of quickly size them up, the Vidalcan is sort of standing very straight and looking straight forward, trying to not make eye contact, sort of extremely stoic, trying not to make a move. The human will reach and grab documentation and hand it to you.
And it looks legit.
Take a minute to investigation check.
Okay.
Specifically those.
Lucian, we don't have time to get pulled up in an Azorius trial.
Just a moment. We don't want things to get out of hand. Let's just look at this and go from there. I got a nat 1, so that's both sides of the coin there.
Oh no!
The paperwork seems legit.
This is in crayon, but I believe it is accurate.
It's in blue crayon.
So obviously it's accurate.
The colors are there. I think I'm a little too frazzled to even like.
The paperwork you don't look over very carefully. But you still have your impressions of the people.
Yeah.
The human that's talking to you is extremely forceful. Perhaps maybe not emotional, but definitely presenting more authority and power than would typically be associated with an Azorius talking to another Azorius. Maybe it's the situation.
I believe you might be missing something as an Azorius arrestor to make an arrest on another Azorius arrestor, or in my case, an investigator. You must have the proper forms for that, and I don't see that here. I believe a superior must arrest me.
We have been given authority to be able to do so here.
Really?
Insight check.
That is a 21.
This person is lying.
Ooh!
I see.
You see the Vidalcan sort of like shift eyes at the human and then quickly reset.
I'm gonna collect all the paperwork and hand it back to him and just prop myself up.
The human will place the documents back in their pocket.
Very
And
well.
While they're looking in that direction, they take a glance over at the human.
Astaroth, Tutor, I believe it's now time for things to get out of hand. I'm gonna punch you in the face.
Roll an attack!
That is the best.
Yes!
Not the best. I'm not the best at punching. This is a 3, I believe.
Sure.
Yeah.
3's not going to hit.
Yeah.
You know what? It's a good thing you have a punch wizard on your
So
team.
this arrestor will, in front of your very eyes, with inhuman speed, sort of parkour back, dodge out of the way, and return to regular position.
That's a waste of a great line.
Milana, what did you do? And then the Vidalcan will go, what do you, what? It's a shame, really. And she will make an attack roll against the guard.
Oh!
What?
happening?
Oh
That's gonna hit.
no! Poor Vidalcan.
I think Astaroth is standing here like, ah!
I know, I'm just like...
This is a surprise attack on this guard, which means that this doppelganger
Ooh.
will deal some extra damage.
Oh my
with
God.
this
Are we
hit.
still dreaming in the inn? Like, this is like...
So we're gonna go that much plus. Yeah. These things hit really hard. When they're surprised, Jesus. When they're surprised.
Right.
14, 16. So that guard is going to take 20 damage.
Ooh!
As you see the hand of the human guard sort of bunch up and then turn into instead just sort of a ball of flesh and harden and slam into the guard, and the guard goes flying a good 20 feet,
Oh my god.
motionless on the ground. Let's not make this any messier than it needs to be, Lucy.
I think you made a big mistake, and Astaroth is gonna just like whip his axe off and just attack the changeling.
Okay. Go ahead.
Alrighty. Well, I have no idea what that is. It bounced way far away.
Eight.
It's in the next dimension.
It's an 8.
8 plus plus 6.
Ooh, 14?
Yep.
Hits.
Yeah.
Roll for damage.
I love it when it's like, oh, it's not that great a roll. However, I'm good at one
Go
thing.
ahead.
Okay.
Roll your damage.
All right, so that's with my battle axe. So that's 1d8 plus 3, since I am using it one-handed right
Here's
now.
a doppelganger, in case you wanted to see what that looked like.
Nice. Actually, it's 1d8 plus 4, because my strength has gone up since
Go
I
ahead.
wrote this down.
Let's do it.
So that is 6 damage.
6 damage as you swing across the face, and as the axe sort of cleaves a cut directly into the cheek, you sort of see the separation, and where there should be blood, instead it's like you hit clay, and the clay sort of reforms and goes back together.
This is creeping me out.
Roll for initiative, everybody.
Ooh. All right.
Well, that's a low number.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a what?
That's the lowest number.
Ooh.
So I got a 9.
Okay.
I should have been a precog mage.
Does anyone have higher than a 20?
Nope.
Nah.
20 to 15.
Nah.
15.
15. Wow.
Nice.
Tutaru, Velma's not
Somehow
not
goes
here
for
right
it.
now.
I know. That's why I didn't roll.
Yeah, no worries. Tutaru is going to go first.
I know.
Question
what?
mark? 15 to 10. Wow. With my roll of 2 plus 4, I'm going to go second.
Oh,
Wow.
great.
It makes sense to
or,
roll
I'm
first.
sorry,
Everybody else
of,
has attacked so far. So
Right.
she's had time to get.
I'm just like, oh,
So what do you guys have?
She's like
I had
tied
a 9.
shoe.
9?
I had a 2.
adjusted her room.
So I apologize. Actually, Astaroth gets to go before the... Because 2 plus 4 is 6, not 9.
Right.
Yeah, that was my mistake. Tutaru, you are up first. You see this shape that used to be an Azorius guard is sort of unfolding like bits of skin and sort of
Yeah.
flipping over and is becoming sort of a blue mass.
Would I be familiar with this type of creature?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Great. I mean, out of game I am, but yeah.
Out of game
This
you
is
are.
terrifying.
Yeah. Great. When he punched it, did it look like it did anything?
When he punched it? When
Yeah.
he hit it with his
I
axe?
hit it
Yeah,
with my
Oh
axe.
yeah, it took some damage.
Okay,
You know that axe punch?
Yeah.
Alright.
It's going to take a few more axe hits.
for sure.
It's going to say before anything else happens, it's going to say, "We only want the Loxodon. That's all we want."
You're going to get nothing.
Well, then
from
you're gonna
us.
have to go through us and them, I guess.
You're going to have to go through them, I guess. Yeah. This person is a tire stain on the floor now.
Oh no!
Not
dead?
long for the. Oh, they are super
No.
dead. They almost took twice their hit points from that one hit.
Poor light acquaintance of Lucian.
Hey, I know you.
A woman that you, a
Aw.
Vidalcan woman you'd seen in passing. Yeah,
I'm gonna go ahead and bless all three of us.
great.
Ooh, nice.
Great move. Yeah.
What does bless do?
Bless. You bless up to 3 creatures of your choice within range. Whenever a target makes an attack or saving throw roll before the spell ends, the target can roll a d4 and add the number rolled to the attack roll or saving throw.
Yeah. Bless is
Great.
sweet.
Hashtag bless.
All right. Hashtag.
Hashtag bless.
And then I'll take a step back.
Great.
Facing the right way, though.
Astarock.
All right.
You would be up next to them at this point because you already took one swing. So go ahead.
I'm going to after that swing, I recover and kind of watch it like the goo kind of remeld, and I'm just like, what in Tagic's name is this thing? Let's get out of here! But I'll bring another attack onto it.
Okay. Go ahead.
So yes, hit it with axe. Oh boy, that was a 1.
Wow.
Yikes.
That's the third one we rolled today.
Yeah, not
Get him out
wrong.
early,
Great.
folks.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say I kind of swung at it, but was like still a little like thrown off what was going on. But I am gonna use my action surge so that I can take another attack and
Great.
still potentially move from there.
Do it.
Attack! 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 That's oh god,
What
not
is
rolling
that?
great today.
A 5.
All right, so yeah, that's a 5 plus
Dark
6.
City.
Not gonna
So-
do it.
With a bless.
You guys do know. Yeah, you have to
Oh,
bless.
bless!
Yeah, bless, bless.
Oh, yeah.
So-
Okay.
You guys
If you
do
can still
know.
get there.
You guys do know
Right.
that its armor class is 14 because he hit it with
Okay.
a 14.
And
Yeah,
you
so
got
I got an 11 with the 5 plus
Okay.
6.
So you.
So if
So let's see it. There's a 3.
Yes, that gets to 14.
Yeah.
Yay!
Boom.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Get in there and do it.
Yes.
As the axe blade swings through the air, a light Celestian gleam shows off of it, and it strikes true. Roll for
Ooh
damage.
boy.
Little white leaves fall.
Ooh.
All right, that's pretty good. So that is 9 damage.
Nice.
Pretty good,
As
pretty good.
a much more solid hit, instead of just a grazing blow across the face, able to sort of take a chunk of shoulder, and it hits right in between the clavicle, but once again, not bleeding so much as just open, and it is sort of, it's not really resealing so much as, it's a Gumby creature.
Right.
It sort of hangs and doesn't seem to have had...
And it's like maybe if he had time, he could reseal it and
Exactly.
stuff. But
it is going to be the doppelganger's turn, which had a name while it was Vidalcan or while it was human, but it doesn't matter now.
The blue thing.
Yeah.
Cold.
no, it's Doppler.
Um,
Doppelganger.
Stops.
I mean, it probably still has a family that loves him.
He
Maybe.
will look at you, Lucian, and say the doctor has it. She has information that the doctor needs, and will attack you,
Oh, shit.
Oh, great.
coming at you with its multi-attack,
Oh, cool.
2 slams. The first one is
You're tanky.
The
though,
doctor. We
Not-
get some
not
systemic
anymore.
enemies
Oh,
going
no.
on.
11
Maybe, right?
to hit.
No, my AC is 14.
Okay. 13 to hit. Roll a 5 and a 7. So dodges out of the way of both of these huge sort of boulders coming at you. It looks like the hands have sort of hardened into keratin, just bludgeons on the ends trying to get at you. And the doppelganger has to use its action to polymorph. Blech, vomit. So the doppelganger... Yeah, can't really do anything else. I don't really want to run away to just get you an opportunity attack.
Yeah, because that'll, I mean, from him is what you're worried
him,
about, not
yeah.
me.
No, not you.
You can shift around me, but
Yeah, he'll just stay there, I guess.
okay.
Sometimes you just
Lucian.
gotta stay where you are when there's a minotaur that is
Yeah.
like whacking at you. and-
Boring down
Yeah.
on you. Yeah.
Get
Lucian.
it boring down. Boring.
Ha-ha.
Sorry.
I will go with the very predictable hold person. And I will also say, we need this, whatever it is, alive. We need it as evidence as to whatever is happening around here. So do not kill it.
Lucian, this thing is trying to kill us!
Do not kill it!
We don't know if it's the only one around here. I think we've got to get out of here.
Your axe has another side. Use it. So,
It knows something. Something none of us know.
that's true. So hold person is a wisdom saving throw, I believe. Let me just double check that.
I think so.
Correct.
13.
That is a fail.
Rats.
You need to meet a 14.
Ooh.
You are now paralyzed.
Wow.
As you see blue
Boom.
and white and golden shackles just surround every part of his body
Wow.
and just constrict him to standing there like a good citizen of Ravnica.
Enchantment-based
Jeez.
removal.
Right. Exactly.
Luminous bonds. As
Yeah.
it were. I guess it's the top of the round, too, Taru.
Alright, so if you can't do anything,
I'm currently
I'm
paralyzed.
actually going to move away after he's paralyzed because he can't attack me.
Correct. Is there a save to do that on that later?
At the end of every
At the
turn.
end of every turn.
At the end of every turn, you get to make another wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
okay, so at this point, should I just try to tie him up?
I mean,
If we want
It's not a bad idea, yeah.
but they are a shapeshifter.
Oh, that's right. They
So,
can just like slide right out of it.
I don't know how that works.
I'm seeing how paralyzed works, because I'm a shapeshifter.
Paralyzed creature is incapacitated and
Cannot move or speak. What does
can't speak.
incapacitated mean?
There goes putting zone of truth
All
on it.
incapacitated. Can't take
A
actions.
reference, you gotta do
Okay,
another
so I can't
Yeah.
shape change either.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking
Oh,
for.
okay.
Because I
well,
think
there
that
you
would
go.
be movement.
Oh,
technically.
Yeah.
yeah, but once it wears off, though, like
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
that's the problem.
Right.
This lasts for a minute, and they get to make a save at the end of every turn.
And we can't question it.
It's
while
about.
it's paralyzed.
It's going to be 10 rounds.
Right.
It cannot move, paralyzed, so it can't
can't move
speak.
and can't speak.
Incapacitated can't move or speak. Automatically fails strength and dexterity saving throws,
Wow,
and you have advantage when you're attacking it.
great. What are you doing?
Well, if I can't tie it up really and I can't question it, I guess I'll just try to get it pretty low in health for now. I'll cast Sacred Flame on it.
Okay.
We've just got this, like, stiff shapeshifter, and we're just, like, kicking the crap out of it.
Well,
What does Sacred Flame do?
Huh?
Target must succeed on dexterity
that's
saving
probably-
throw.
Oh, I rolled a natural 20 on that save.
Well,
Astral with
saves
it.
that
a
one.
little bit late on the save, but
wait, what kind
I
of
can't
save was
sleep.
it?
Just hit on the
It was
back.
dexterity is
It
a
automatically
disadvantage.
fails.
Oh, it automatically
Oh.
Automatically
fails.
fails.
Oh,
Never
dex saving
mind.
throws.
I'll just
Yeah.
burn it. With
Deal some
holy
damage.
Lesbian light.
You can't dodge.
Yeah,
this.
it can't dodge when it's being held. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That makes sense.
Whole person good.
Is it
So-
just two?
You could probably.
Damage.
2 damage?
2 damage. 2 whole damage.
You could also grapple it for free now because it fails strength
Oh.
saving throws.
Okay, and then
Great.
we could, like, carry it with us. Probably.
Right.
Until it like polymorphs.
Astaroth, it's your turn.
All right, okay, so the thing is just kind of lying there. It doesn't seem
It
like...
is standing. It is now held against the wall with. You've seen these before when you were in the Gruul combat. Sort of blue triangles forming and pressing this being against the wall in sort of a cocoon of law and justice.
Look, Lou, this thing was here with one of your Azorius officers. I think we can't just leave it here alive. I think we need to kill it and we need to get out of here.
I agree that we need to leave, but we have to get some sort of answer out of this. At least check its pockets.
What are we gonna do with it after that? Just let it go? Go back to whoever it works for and tell them where we are and what we're doing?
We can't commit murder inside of an Azorius building.
When someone attacks an officer and you kill them for it, that's not murder.
I'll turn my axe around to the backside and just whack it up against the back of the head
Okay.
to try and knock it out.
Make an attack roll. This would be an advantage
Yeah.
because
Okay.
I can't move.
Well, it definitely hits.
There you go.
Yes, so that was a 21.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Yeah. and-
So your axe rolls what typically?
So my axe rolls 1d8 or 1d10 if I'm using
Okay.
two hands.
So what I'm going to say is because you're not using the sharp end,
Uh-huh.
I'm going to switch that. It's going to stay versatile,
Sure.
but instead of D10, D8, I'm going to have it be D10, D or D8, D6.
Okay.
So you're going to roll a D8 for damage here.
Okay.
With
Yep.
your regular attacks for your strength,
Sure.
but because you're not using the sharpened metal end,
I think that makes sense. I mean, that's the weapon part
yeah,
of it.
you're,
Right.
it's a club now.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll just roll d8 because because we had a little time. I am
Sure.
using both hands.
Yes, of course.
He's casting sleep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Fight or sleep.
Ooh.
Okay,
Pretty good.
so that's 7 plus 4. So that's 11 damage.
Very nice. Well done. This fight's not going great for me. It is my turn.
Wisdom saving throw.
Whoop. That's a no.
That's a 2. A 2.
Plus, Tushramu could also
angry.
cast full person
You can
without round
see.
and
I know, right?
You can see the face of this being sort of like it looks almost like there are bugs underneath as it's trying to change shape, trying whatever it can do to escape these bonds, and yet is being captured by the Azorius in action magic.
Would I be able to allow it to speak if I wanted to?
Make an Arcana check, because
Okay.
you're going to make a special attempt to sort of loosen some of it, not with your knowledge of magic. I'll let you do that.
This is a 15.
I don't know if that's a rule, but it seems like a cool thing.
Yeah, but it makes sense too. Like that's something
17.
that a
I feel like-
Azorius investigator would need to do.
Exactly.
17's good.
They
17's fine.
They would cast this whole person and then let them speak to, get more evidence out of them.
will-
So 17.
It feels now. What part are you allowing it to move? Its head?
Yeah,
face?
I guess, yeah, just its face, yeah.
Just its face?
Just its face, essentially.
What do you want?
And then I'm going to cast Zone of Truth.
Nice.
So,
So.
that is a charisma saving.
Yes. It has the ability to read thoughts, so it is going to have advantage. Oh, this is a saving throw, not a check.
Yes, this is
Ah,
a
okay.
saving throw.
It is not going to have advantage on a saving throw.
Okay.
It has
Nice.
advantage on charisma, wisdom, and intelligence checks. I think that's what that says. But saving throw, no such luck. But it does
Ooh.
succeed. 18 on the dice,
Yeah, yeah.
so it succeeds on the zone of
So
truth.
you know that it resisted and doesn't have to answer, right?
Right, yeah,
It sort of
I'm aware.
washes over its face, and as it does, its face sort of contorts and changes and alters itself a little bit back into. It's going to change its face into the image of Mike.
What's the save
To Mike?
To Mike. What's the save for what?
for your Zone of Truth?
14. For charisma.
I don't pass.
Okay.
Okay.
Tutoru, what's? Are
I
you,
still got when I was 6.
You might be far enough away, honestly, to avoid zone of truth. So
Oh,
Yeah,
me?
it's a
Yeah,
15
you.
foot.
I mean,
I think you're probably far enough away
Okay.
to
50-foot
to
radius
not have to
sphere,
do it.
yeah,
So
so-
Astaroth has to tell the truth, but the shapeshifter, whose body is still the form of the Demure, but is able to change its face into the sneering, angry homunculus that you met downstairs. I don't feel like sharing information with you.
Oh,
That's unsettling, and I cannot get it to speak.
It'll change shape again into your face and say, interesting seeing a law mage take down someone in uniform. I wonder what the Senate will have to say about that.
You're no law mage.
It'll change its face again, this time into the shape of a minotaur with a metal poke on one of its horns and say, "The hell I am! You listen to justice if you know what's good for you."
Say the word, Blue, and I'll take him out.
Let's end this.
It'll change its face again into that of Tutoru and say, "Why would you just murder someone that can't defend themselves?"
Ah!
nope. Okay, that's where I draw the line. Sacred Flame.
Toast them.
Toasty.
And it automatically fails, right?
Yep.
Said
So
you
you just get
Demure?
2 damage.
The
No.
1d8.
Oh,
I did not clarify that this was Demure. Just
You
the
did
dot
say-
one. Oh, did I say
you
Demure?
did say Demure. I
Sorry,
meant-
there is no Demure insignia on this person.
It was
There is
Azorius.
no.
You meant Azorius.
Azorius is what I
Oh,
meant.
okay. I was like, wait a minute.
Very specifically, important for the rule for this game. This doppelganger is not Demure, or at least you have not discovered that they are
Okay.
Demure.
We don't have any
yet.
reason to believe they are.
You don't have
Yeah.
any reason to believe
I think
that
he's
they are.
misspoke, but I wanted to
I
clarify
apologize,
because
yes.
I know that
My
I was
fault.
like, wait a minute, wait.
Totally correct.
An
This is a-
Azorius mage
Yeah.
by the name of Lucian once said, "The Demure is not the only guild with spies."
True.
In episode 1.
Sacred Flame?
I don't think you fail your save,
Oh, I
right?
failed my save. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just deal me damage.
Yeah, so I cast Sacred Flame. It's one thing to challenge us with us not instigating anything, but it's another thing to kill an innocent person. And I look over at the smashed Vidalcan over there, and then I cast my Sacred Flame, and like this green light of tree just kind of like opens up from him, and it does 7 damage.
7.
Yes.
The flame sweeps over its face, and when the flame dissipates, you see the face of the fallen soldier and say, "They were but a pawn. They don't have what we need. You have what we need. We don't need all of you. You all know the same information. We only needed one of you, but you couldn't just come quietly."
So
Why
you go
couldn't
for the
just-
biggest one?
It'll look at you. It'll look at you, and its face will change into that of Mookie.
Ooh.
and it will stare at you,
She didn't.
and it will say, "You were the one who knew the Triad personally. You have more information than these fools. You are the most useful. You would have been heavy to carry."
Astaroth, can you shut this thing up?
Yeah, that's enough.
What I'm just trying to remember this because it was in one of the like magic stories that happened.
Mm-hmm.
They established like what the Boros version of chess was.
Sure.
It was like some game.
Yeah, it was like Nine Men's Morris or whatever.
Yeah, something like that. All right, but because he's like,
Well, if he was a pawn, then knight to B3.
I'm just gonna
Sure.
yeah,
great.
just whack him with the sharp end of the axe.
Great.
This time, I think.
Do it.
There are some
Roll,
good
roll
one-liners
your
in this game
attack.
today.
With advantage.
Yeah.
Woo!
Well, I got an 18. Let's find out if it's a crit.
Come on, crit, baby.
Crit. No, the 18 with 18 plus 6 will have to do. 24. I mean, that definitely
That's gonna
hits.
hit.
He's tied up. But I am
He's a
using
bit
the
tied up at the
actual.
moment. I'm going to see if he saves
And
real
use your
quick.
bless for your damage.
Okay. Saves from being hit
From
with
the,
a.
no, from the
yes.
paralyzation.
And you can use your bless on your damage.
This is
or
a
just your attack
wisdom?
roll?
Just the attack roll.
Yes.
14.
14 is what you meet it then.
Okay.
So yes, I believe.
So your attack will happen.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, that's 9 plus 4, so that's 13 damage.
Oh yeah, hitting like a truck.
It is going to transform, it is going to escape the grasp and going to transform its entire shape into an image that you recognize and say, "Why couldn't you have just listened to me the first time? Now you're causing more trouble than you're worth.
How do they know about me?
Where's your friend? Is she skulking around here somewhere too?" And she's going to take an attack at you. Natural 20.
Oh no!
Well, that'll hit.
And multi-attack.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That one's a 2. So the natural 20 is going to hit.
I can take it.
That tends to happen.
I can take it.
It's
I'm a
not
big
that-
beefy
it's
boy.
honestly not that much damage. Actually, I'm in your form now.
Yeah. What do you need?
I want to know what you hit with.
Be rapier, so it's a.
Actually, I don't have your weapons. I'll just keep using the fist.
Yeah.
So it's Velma punching you across the face.
Right.
So I have a -1 strength, just so you know.
Sure,
so,
fair
yeah.
enough.
It's all psychological.
5.
5. I can take
You
5.
double that because it's a crit.
Go ahead and take 5. Oh, I double this, so it's 6.
Well, you roll
Yeah,
again.
Oh, I roll it again. So
And then-
3 plus
So
5
10.
plus 4.
Well, you had the modifier once though.
Right. So modifier is 4, and then 3 plus 5, so 12.
Oh yeah.
I can take 12.
Okay. So you take 12 damage. Yeah.
24 hit points.
So that's going to be the end of its turn, and then it is Lucian's turn. It'll
Okay.
stare at you. Yeah, it'll stare at you after it took a swing at Astaroth.
All right, I'm gonna make a melee spell attack and attempt to cast Inflict Wounds.
Ooh.
So it'll be this plus my spell attack bonus. Ooh, that's a 19 plus 6, so 25.
That'll hit.
Cool. So I'm going to just run up to, I guess, Velma at this point.
Yeah.
And just put a hand on her shoulder and say, "I hate to do this. This is a torturous method that no one should die by, but I don't think you're human."
Mhm.
So this is 3d10 necrotic.
Oh wow.
Me and Tutor are both like, what's
Yikes.
wrong with being not human?
Yeah, I know, right?
Yipes.
3,
You're humanoid.
Yeah.
7.
This thing's a monstrosity.
Well, we're also
5.
monstrous.
Oh, okay.
So 15.
15 damage
Yeah, you deserve
as
five
you
naval death.
reach your hand out and grab shoulder.
Yeah.
Grab the shoulder.
I bet that felt good.
The necrotic energy
No.
begins to spread out on a spot across the chest, down the arm, up the neck. Before it reaches the face changes again. Long, curly brown hair with touches of gray. A little bit of an unkempt overcoat, stained. An ornamental cane in its hand. A heavy satchel of books. Fingerless gloves. Dr. Bavlik sends his regards. And it will perish.
Dr. Pavlik. That's.
I told you about him. He's the guy.
The
Yep.
rebels.
She did convey that information to you guys.
Right. You three had not seen the image of Dr. Babbitt.
Yeah, no,
you
we
did
haven't.
In that guy's mind.
in that guy's
Yeah.
mind. So you're not here.
That's why when you're describing it, they're like, we don't know what this guy
I know.
is.
That's why I was
You
fully
got us.
describing it
Yeah.
again. So now you will all recognize Dr. Bavlik if you see him again.
Dr. Bablik. I think I'm just kind of stunned that I had to kill someone outside of my own office.
Right.
You will at this point hear hurried footsteps coming down the hall. Mike is moving very slowly and quickly up the stairs, flanked by some Azorius security officers, and your mother
Blue,
as well.
we've got to go. This isn't going to look good for us. We know we're in the right here, but we don't have the time to get caught up in an Azorius trial.
Lucien?
There's another way out. I'm
Lucien!
we should go.
Okay.
Let's go!
Which way are we going?
Away.
This way.
They are
Unless
going
blocked
to-
both halls.
They're going to come into the hallway at this point. You see Senator Ladrian, flanked by some guards. She appears to be in her usual Senate vestment robe, and looks around the scene and says, What? Are you all Lucien?
This was in self-defense. We were under arrest and something didn't seem right.
What is this on the floor?
Some sort of shape-changing being.
This is a doppelganger. Guards, investigate this. And she will tell the guards to take a look at the remains of the doppelganger on the floor. It's a gray, blue, not wearing any clothes in its current form, as it takes on that appearance as it changes. Although its items that it was carrying on its person are also scattered on the ground. Its identification. Mostly it's just a small stack of papers. The guards begin looking at the body. My goodness. Disgraceful business with these. Is there any guild affiliation? I mean, I imagine if they were Demure, they would have been more difficult to recognize. This seems like shoddy work. Even so, their presence gives reasonable doubt to justify a probe for all evidence, leading to the culpability of your associates, of course, and by extension you. This would postpone any potential trial until after the election, of course, and I can clearly secure your interim release. Or if you prefer, I can secure your friends a speedy trial with an impartial arbiter.
No, we don't have time for that.
I know what a speedy trial is like for the Azorius.
I'm a senator. I can get a very speedy trial. And if you succeed in getting the cases thrown out on technicalities, as might be your specialty, then you'd be cleared of suspicion yourself. But I agree that perhaps this is the best course of action.
I'm going to pull Lucian just aside for a bit and just kind of quietly be like,
Can we trust this person? Just an Azorius senator just comes up to try and help us? That's a lot.
This isn't just any Azorius senator. This is my mother.
The soldiers will have garnered the senator's attention at this point, going through the various items. It will see, wow, this is decently made fabrication. I wonder what this. Do you recognize this?
Do I?
It is an envelope with a hot air balloon in the corner, with the initials TTC.
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 man, you're a real blue blood.
Make an intelligence check.
Okay. That's a nat one. Duh.
TTC is on the hot air balloon. There is something inside.
Oh,
Inside the envelope.
I shouldn't stare at this balloon. I should open this. What's in here?
It is a receipt for payment.
Of?
Some amount of money.
But it doesn't say what the receipt is for?
Correct. Services rendered.
All right. Senator Ladrin, I'm going to need this as evidence.
We are also probably going to need it as evidence, unless, and she will glance around and look at the soldiers and say, unless we keep this here for now.
You call your mom Senator Ladrian.
You also call me Senator Ladrian.
Well, sure, but you're not my mom, Senator Ladrian.
Clearly, or else you have better manners.
Well, maybe.
Stop talking.
Okay. That seems fair.
I lost that fight a long time ago.
Indeed. Did you get my missive?
I did, and I'm sorry I didn't follow what you wanted me to do, but I needed to.
It's all right.
I needed.
Trying to have your best interests at heart. I know how you feel about me, but, you know.
I needed to go by
business.
the book as best I could, as I always want to, and
I
this
admire
time.
that.
But this clearly means that we've been somehow infiltrated.
We may have to go off book a bit here. Until the resolution of this probe, we have to assume that the precog that showed up at the Titan's Keg Tavern a few nights ago, legitimately saw your Loxodon friend commit a crime in the future. We have no evidence contrary to that at this point. The way that was handled and the focus on your party, this was likely politically motivated. I checked, and the senator in charge of the Budozek, who is a rival of mine, failed to file a conflict of interest form when they sent the Thopter in your direction. This should be sufficient enough to throw out the case on a technicality, as is our most traditional way.
Oh, weaponized paperwork.
Did the doppelganger say anything, do anything, show you anything?
Showed us lots of faces.
Yes.
But it mentioned a name. Dr.
Bavik.
Bavlik.
Bavlik.
Dr. Bavlik. Guildless ingrate. Deserves to be locked up in Uzdek forever. It should be you who brings him in.
All right. I'll do my best.
I'm relying on you now, Lucian, as my only child. She blinks, as if what she just said doesn't sound exactly right. But this is the first time that your mother's ever apologized to you. It's not really an apology.
Right. But
This is as close as you're gonna get.
Yeah. You're like, this is, from your perspective, her like
Yeah.
on her knees groveling.
Yeah.
yeah.
This is weird.
She does not apologize, and she is not doing so now.
Yeah.
But you know what the score is.
I'm embarrassed for her. This is odd.
This is
Show of emotion is
awkward.
unbecoming.
Mother, I'm not sure you want to do this in front of other guilds, but I appreciate the sentiment, and I will do my very best to bring in Dr. Bavlik and anybody else involved in this.
Every citizen deserves their day in a cell, particularly those who transgress in such a brazen way. We will prove their guilt. We don't arrest the innocent, you know. Well, except for it seems in this case.
Well, I mean,
Except for Loxodons.
that's fine.
You will still need to face the precogs unless deeper conspiracy is found. We will get this current charge most likely thrown out on technicality, but we don't have evidence just yet that the initial charge was fraudulent in any way. To prevent action is to prevent transgression, you understand. The Budozek is a very important piece, a very important cog in the Azorius machine. I understand that there are some opinions on the precognitive mages from the other guilds, and I appreciate your wherewithal in the situation, but we in the Azorius rely on them to prevent crime rather than simply answer the call when it occurs. But that's a business for another day. This is dangerous business. If this Dr. Bavlik is working with, hiring, associating with other separatists, that is very dangerous indeed. If this is the doing of another guild, then that would be quite bad as well. But there doesn't seem to be any evidence of that just yet.
All right. We'll find what evidence we can. We'll bring it here. But the Boros are involved, and I believe we should share this case with them. That's why Astaroth is here as well.
That sounds prudent. I will contact my trusted sources within the Boros. We have a good working relationship with some of them. Mokolpump, and the homunculus will come up behind with a book in hand and say, "Yes, ma'am."
She says the name properly.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
And not just Mike, Mokolpump. Please take this down. The case against Lucian Ladrian, Tuturu, and Astaroth is to be placed on the bottom of the stack and handled at a later date. Please gather my contacts within Sunhome for proper information, and we will proceed methodically. Yes, ma'am. I will absolutely get right on that. Good to see you again, Lucian. Glad you wiped your feet. And he will turn away and head back downstairs. Would you like to step into your office?
Well, I thought I was going to continue the investigation. Is there
Well,
something further
you're
you'd
an
like?
investigator. I imagine you have resources within your grasp, behind nearby doors. Go about your business. Keep in touch. I'll send Giles every once in a while.
I actually have a request if you could assist me.
What is it?
I need some files pulled.
What files?
I need files pulled on a Imara Tandris.
Imara,
Imara.
the soul of the Accord?
That's right.
Why?
Yes, why?
She said a few things that, well, I'd just like some more information. There's no suspicion here, but it's better to have our eyes open than closed.
I admire that. Very prudent.
Imara Tandris, a Captain Tristy,
Ah, Captain Tristy. I've heard this name.
a Salias of the Orzhov.
Salias.
And-
Not heard that name.
I believe, and a Velma Suite.
I will keep those in mind. You will be hearing from me soon.
I look forward to Giles again.
Astaroth's just been sitting here, kind of like. I think he's sort of shocked that he knew Lucian was Azorius, but not that he would like have a direct connection to a senator, which is a pretty like important political position.
Yeah. This is a big deal. I mean,
Yeah.
this is like if an actual United States senator showed up.
Yeah.
So, this is a pretty big deal. Gentlemen, we should leave these people be. Be sure to send up a cleaning crew for this mess. Keep it quiet. Lucian, and she will turn and walk away.
Good day.
Blue, I could tell you were from money, but you're a senator's kid.
I am. I don't like to tout that around, and I don't see any reason to. I'm just as capable without her help.
You are standing there now, alone, the three of you, an empty hallway, except for 2 dead bodies.
I'm sure Mike will clean this up. We should head out.
Should we do a quick search to see if there's anything on them
Sure.
that we haven't
Yeah.
found
Go
that
ahead.
might be relevant?
Make a investigation check. You make an investigation check at advantage
Okay.
because you can smell.
The nose knows.
Yeah,
Nose
I was also
knows.
gonna ask, like,
Oh, I forgot to check.
does the
You're
doppelganger?
like, there was a body here.
You
wasn't
said
there?
investigation.
Investigation at advantage.
Does the doppelganger have a unique smell to it?
Keep going. Roll the number and I'll tell you.
Okay. Okay. 10.
That's part of what we're doing here.
Oh, cool.
You've never smelled a doppelganger before?
Or you haven't, you didn't know it.
Or you have and you didn't know it?
Yes, it's
This
true.
smells like nothing that you've smelled before. The hallway here, by the way, does not smell like anything.
Right, it's very clean.
Very clean. Does not even smell like cleaning product. It is sterile.
They have cleaning product.
Yeah, exactly.
But the doppelganger does have like a specific smell to it then.
Yeah. Sort of, I would say musty. This particular doppelganger certainly smells a little bit like decay. And the letter from TTC also has a distinctly fragrant smell to it. Sort of smells like compost a little bit.
Okay. Get some Golgari vibes here.
Yeah.
All right, I don't think we should spend much more time here. Whatever this thing was, they know a lot about us. A lot more than I think we thought they knew. Someone's watching us. They know we're here. I think we gotta meet back up with Velma.
Yes, that doppelganger knowing her face and other things is quite troubling, so we should reconvene at the earliest we can.
Meanwhile, can't see. Across town,
I'm alive.
Segway.
across town, Velma, your friends walked up the platform and
Yeah.
went off on their
Well,
zeppelin.
I also spent some time
And
already.
you were at the Wishcoin Crab going over
Yeah.
the blueprints, which, by the way, do have the initials TTC
Yeah,
on them.
you told me that name and I didn't write it down.
The
when we were talking.
Tazric Transportation Corporation.
How that's spelled?
Tazric. TAJRIC.
Tazric. Okay.
The Tazric Transportation Corporation
Okay.
are on there.
Um,
You don't know this part yet, but
Okay, I'll write it down there.
Yep.
Just kidding. I'm not-
A bookkeeping thing for the audience to know about is that I think a part of the Demure. So we're going to talk about Demure a lot more today. So people who aren't Magic fans, who don't, we kind of revealed that I was a Demure last
Yeah.
time. Didn't really explain what Demure
good
was.
call. Good call.
They're kind of a guild of spies, essentially. And for a long time, from what I understand, as not a Magic person, this is my coming into it. For a long time, people didn't even
No, they
admit
existed.
Like
Yeah.
they were like the secret guild.
The history of Demure is
yeah.
really interesting in that for a long time people thought there were 9 guilds on Ravnica. Until the events of the Decamillennial, when the Perrin of the Demure, Zadek, was arrested by Agris Kos.
Yeah.
Won't go too into detail on that right here, but
Yeah.
at that point the Demure became public-facing and became known as a guild of librarians and information couriers and reporters, but in reality are more spies. You could call them marketing people as well.
Yeah.
Information dealers,
Which is what Velma is.
and stuff like that.
So one of the features you get as a Demure player is this aspect of it's like hidden identity, or I forgot what it's called in the book, but it's like basically false identity.
Yeah.
So essentially, Velma Sweet is not a real identity. It's a persona she has created to make a public version of herself as an Orzhov. And with the false identity feature, essentially at any time you can choose to drop that identity and kind of fade into the faceless, guildless masses of Ravnica. And the way that we're kind of playing that right now in character, so it works as a mechanic for this game, is that one thing I haven't been clear about a lot, and moving forward, whenever Velma is traveling around with the party and not like
Right.
presenting herself as Velma, she is disguising herself as somebody else. So I think the best way to assume that kind of works, not as like using the disguise self, but she
you
does
put
have
on
a disguise
makeup
kit because like a
and-
disguise kit. Not unlike the criminal spy background in regular D&D, the Demure background gives you a disguise kit as well. So yeah, I think Velma just has some. I think in Ravnica, there's not as much of a physical difference between the classes of elves as there are in other realms.
Correct.
It's more like the high elves have all been kind of subjugated into. Is it the Cynic or the Selesnyan?
The high elves would be Celestia.
Selesnya, yeah. So they've all been there. The wood elves are like the most independent, and most of the dark elves, which are called the Devkarin, which is the race that
you are.
Velma is half of, most of them are in the Golgari.
Yeah.
It's almost like a cultish environment in the Golgari. But the Devkarin and the wood elves don't look that different from each other. There's like some hair coloring differences and some light color differences.
It's nothing that a good
So-
amount of makeup can't
Yeah.
solution. So going forward,
So, yeah.
we will typically, I mean, you can reference it every
Yeah.
once in a while to remind the audience, but going
Yeah.
forward, when in doubt, Velma is in light
Yeah, presenting
disguise.
herself as a wood elf, basically.
So
And like,
you-
I will say, if I'm presenting myself as Velma, I will make that clear so that mostly this is so we don't have to keep stopping game every time I
Yeah.
go into a scene and go,
fine.
Velma, take some time to put on spirit gum and things like. And so
Yeah.
at one point I was going to have her dress more human, but then I was like, that seems like a lot
the
more
ears,
work to go
yeah.
into. So
Don't worry
so
about it.
she's traveling now. Her hair color is a little bit different. She looks like a wood elf.
And you're
And
moving.
see.
You're moving across town. The walk across the 5th precinct is you're stealthing, right? We had stealth last time.
I will. If I feel me roll now, I will
Sure,
because
yeah,
I was
go
in
ahead.
that restaurant. So
Yeah. So out of the Wishcoin Crab across the 5th precinct.
Okay. So right now I
Yeah,
am
it's
at.
fine.
I think that is a 17.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
good. So
You're
after
good at that.
after moving off from Tin Street, you move past the Blister Coils and Zonot 7 along Sage's Row through the campus of towering spires and learning institutions known as the High Tower neighborhood. You see the
After
campus.
Rural High Tower.
That's right.
High Church.
High Church, yeah. You see, it's actually named after because of so many universities and so many buildings being built at so many different times, but still having the same goal of being the tallest building.
Oh, I love it.
They kept trying to
You
make
just get out and
taller and
measure
taller
each day.
buildings, essentially.
That's the
And so the
best.
whole neighborhood is called High Tower.
I love it.
You see the campus of
flavor.
Prism University off in the distance. You pass Zonot 7, as I mentioned. You also walk past the world famous and well known to you Ismeri Library,
Ooh.
which is a place of higher learning that you've spent many a night looking for just the right book with just the right information in it. Unlike most of the High Tower district, which is kind of haphazard and building from 100 years ago here, 1,000 years ago here, 10 years ago here, it's kind of a mess. The Ismeri Library is super clean. It's a symmetrical, cylindrical structure of columns and windows that tapers as it rises, sort of almost pyramid obelisk-like. And it is definitely a beautiful building. And you've been inside many times. I won't get into the description inside because we aren't going inside right now. As you walk through the streets, you have to avoid a street sweeper construct that comes through, cleaning some of the cobblestones, roaming endlessly as it scrubs away the refuse and the crumpled up dry leaves. You leave the High Tower district and enter into more residential neighborhoods. And as you cross away from this sort of urban environment into a more suburban environment, another stealth check.
Okay. That one's only gonna be a 10.
Okay.
You
This
correct everything else
neighborhood,
better than-
you know that this neighborhood, this is Dinrova.
Okay.
This is the Dinrova neighborhood,
Okay.
I should say. The massive Dinrova Heights estate dominates the skyline, but many of the houses here have the, it wouldn't stick out to most people, but to you, you can definitely spot the sort of bat-like architecture that's signature of Demure architecture. You go through the neighborhood and up to Dinrova's main front door. You climb the few steps up to the grand entrance. A sign out front reads, "Welcome to the Demure Public Offices. Not responsible for death or loss of property. Basement off limits." You walk inside. It's relatively comfortable, like a 1920s hotel sort of
Right in my element.
entrance. There are tables and some lounge chairs. There's a directory of floors with little like slide letters, like you might find in in like a hot dog restaurant or something like that shows you a directory of floors 1 through 4.
Dog restaurant. Cool.
Yeah. So sort of like white letters on black felt.
I'm
kind
into
of,
it. I'm
yeah.
really into it.
Yeah.
You got some good like toppings. You can get. Like,
There is a hotel style wood desk at the front. There appear to be mailboxes behind the front, sort of lined in copper.
Mhm.
Dark rich wood and copper and sort of dark reds and blues and greens.
This is so right in my like design aesthetic love. Like, Riley's geeking out about it as much as
This is
Velma.
so-
There is a very pleasant looking 50s, 60s year old, relatively large woman sitting at the front desk. She has a name tag. The name tag says Ethel.
Okay.
Good name.
And Ethel looks up and she says, hello, welcome to Dinrova, headquarters of the Demure Guild. We offer courier, investigative, archival, marketing, and reporting services. How may I direct you today?
I pull out my multi-pass and I just set it down and like slide it across to her.
She will take the multipass. What's on it?
I'm not casting anything on it. I think this
It
is
looks like a multipass?
I think it's my like identification moment.
I have a coupon.
She will, yeah.
I already have my
Right, she will look at it, and she will look at you, and what does this look like right now?
I think for a Demure they can see. I think
So
when
she
she
will
walked
pick it
in the
up.
building, she put it on as Demure.
Okay. So she will look at the paper, look at the insignia, slide it back across the desk. Verification accepted. May I have your code name, please?
Sweet.
Second,
You could also be responding and be like, yeah, verification is
Sweet.
accepted. Sweet, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
That's what I thought too.
Sweet.
Let's do it. Yeah.
But what's your verification?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Sweet dude.
Miss Sweet. Second elevator on your left. It's always a pleasure doing business at Dinrova. And
Thank you,
we'll
Ethel.
slide a piece of paper across the desk to you.
Okay. What does it say?
It says...
Just a picture of a middle
it's- Yeah, exactly. It says on it, hold button for second floor.
Okay.
And while doing so, third, fourth, first.
Okay. Third, fourth,
The Konami code?
third, four, one. Okay. Okay.
There are a bank of 4 elevators, 2 on each side.
Okay.
You head to the second elevator on your left.
Okay.
It opens. The gate slides, and you walk in.
Okay.
There are 4 buttons. First, fourth, the second, third, and fourth.
Yeah.
You press them in the
Yeah.
correct
Hold
order.
the 2.
Holding
3, 4,
the 2.
3, 4, 1.
Yep.
Yeah.
I bet this is like a miss situation where there's a particular combination you could do that would just take us to Ruben's Big Bad for the entire campaign.
As you type that in, you turn back around. You can see Ethel still standing at the desk, but not so much standing as floating.
Ooh.
As she becomes less corporeal, as her feet disappear near the ground.
Yeah. That makes sense.
The elevator, as you close, begins to rise slowly. Someday you hope to go to all the way to the top
Of
floor.
course.
But today is not that day.
Oh.
As the elevator rises slowly,
I'd kill
creaks,
Celeste, I'd be all over
rattles
the
to
top.
a stop, and reverses its course as it descends beneath the streets of Ravnica.
Ooh.
You go down 5, 10, 50 stories, who knows at this point. You can't rightly see in here. The doors open into darkness. You walk forward into the Dinrova basement. A light expands in front of you like an open 6-figured hand in the darkness. Each tentacle covered with gleaming suckers. And it stands in front of you.
Okay.
What's that card?
It's a Dinrova horror.
Yeah,
Right?
I was like, I know that card. That card sucks.
So it's a 6 tentacle hand. Is there anything unusual about is it like a puzzle I'm trying to figure out, or is it just okay? So I just walk towards it. Okay.
Yep, you
Sorry,
walk
I thought you
towards
were
it.
giving me a puzzle, so and I was like, oh
No,
god,
no
I'm not
puzzle
gonna
here.
be-
No puzzle here. You walk forward. And as you walk forward, it leans down over you.
Mhm.
And it encases you with its slimy strength, clamping around you
Gross.
Just
Yeah.
and filling you with a pulsing blue light that blinks out. There's an experience that's worse than darkness. It's the certainty that your vision is perfect and the horror that there's no world around you to see. The darkness and brightness flash over your vision, and you hear a distorted voice. Every culture has its unlucky numbers. In a city where you're either alone, in a crowd, or being stabbed in the back, 2 is the unluckiest of all. Welcome to Tinrova, Agent Velma Sweet.
Thank you.
What information are you searching for? What information do you have for House Demure?
I believe that I have uncovered a connection between my primary target, Solias, the vampire of the Orzhov, and that I've been working against for the better part of a decade, and longer personally. And I believe I have found a connection between him and the case that I am starting to question I was randomly stumbled upon, that involves the re-emergence of the Ember Mine murders, although I am suspecting now it may be a copycat case intended to cover up a more nefarious scheme. I found blueprints in Solias's office that match the rival corporation of one of the victims of the crime, and I also found indications on one of the other victims of a fraudulent insurance claim on a sale of a book that I know the name of, and I'm wondering if a copy is available here for research. The Advocist and the Urchin.
There's a long, palpable silence.
Furthermore, I am attempting to gain back the trust of a party that has been serving as my assistants in the investigation into the Ember Mine murders. I acted rashly in a moment of personal weakness when I discovered primary targets and saw an opportunity to eliminate him, and as such put them in danger. They are good people with good hearts, but they are perhaps naively still loyal to the myth of benevolence of their guilds, a affliction that I fortunately do not have to ascribe to. However, their devotion to the law is admirable, and I feel that I may be able to gain their trust if I can prove to them that I am actually serving a law. If I can prove to them that I have legal authority of my guild to provide the end of Solias, I believe it would go a long way. So I am seeking permission to be honest with them.
That is admirable. Every guild dreads infiltration. I should know. I have been a member of all of them.
Yeah.
Laws apply only to those who lack the vision to see past them. Everyone in this city is choosing sides. It is roiling. It is unpredictable. It is why I choose inside. There have been many who have sought to upset the guild structure before. Laws in all of the guilds are in place for a specific reason. Not for order, as the Azorius would have you believe. Not for justice, as the Boros would claim. Not for keeping the life cycle in place, as the Golgari or the Celestia may suggest. Not any of these. They are in place in each guild only to keep the guilds in power. As a result, murder, theft, slavery, any crime is only a crime when it is at the expense of the guild. There are other things that are illegal as a result. It is for that reason that this book has been banned by all of the 10, the Advocist and the Urchin. The book is necessary to keep the Pact from being broken. I have seen a copy in my time, or two, but we do not keep them here, for they are dangerous words that we cannot have within our library, or any gilded library you might come across.
I understand.
The book, I have only seen a redacted version, removing some of the names and locations. It tells the tale of an occurrence near the time of the founding of the Guild Pact, in a light that is less than complimentary of the guilds. It tells the tale of a man who was wild and unpredictable. The Advocist and the Urchin are the court notes of the Embermind killer, with names removed to protect the innocent. A traveler, a separatist, a radical named Agmond Borka, who went mad with paranoia at the thought of the 10 ruling the many. He killed recklessly and often. He was convicted and turned to stone, where his statue remains in the granite garden to this day. That is the Urchin. The tale also tells the story of his lawyer, who, while loyal to his cause, to defend and argued valiantly, was shamed and exiled for taking the case at all. Clearly, this version may have different information. Clearly. And you sort of feel as he's talking, he's sort of like reaching around your mind.
Okay.
Looking for additional details, looking for specifics to plug out.
Okay. She won't resist. I think she has too much respect for him to like. I think she resists out of respect. Like like when you're fighting a master, you don't just like surrender to them, but
Right.
also like she's going to defeat her. So
Yeah.
so so do you want me to roll for it, or should I just assume that like she tries and resists and loses?
That's
Okay.
fine.
Yeah, I think that like out of respect she does like put up a fight, because I think he would judge her if she didn't.
Sure.
But I think she knows that she's not going to be
Yeah.
able to fight him off. So she like when that realizes that, she kind of like stops fighting and lets him
Right.
have whatever thoughts.
So the sight of pitch blackness sort of opens a small aperture. And surrounded in darkness, you see a scene in a box in front of you. And the scene is of a book, a large brown book. It floats in air, and from beneath it appears a box, a wooden box, carved with vines. And the lid closes on top of it. And it shows a labyrinthine skull.
Is it the box that I saw at the
It is.
bookstore? Okay.
Clearly, the first edition is of Golgari make,
Of course it is.
meaning that the original comes from a place where the perpetrator's remains, the perpetrator's statue, now resides. You mentioned that the book was part of not only a robbery, but some sort of insurance scheme?
Indeed, the late owner of the book devourer, sold the book and hid the purchase. And I actually pulled a receipt out because I kept that. Hid the sale, and then reported the book stolen to insurance. And I believe that decision cost him his life, but I don't know why.
In your mind, you see the paper plucked, and it floats next to the box, and it unfolds. And you see the initial on the bottom of the sale
Oh, it was to V.
to V. It appears as if I need to inform you of another detail. There are always suspicious deaths, most of which we had something to do with. But in terms of ones that fit this motif, it seems you are missing one.
I thought as much.
A literature professor at Prism University. The Simic reclaimed his remains as well. The literature professor, the book clerk, and the deep reader with deep pockets. All killed, it would seem, in pursuit of this one book. There is only one V in the Undercity that I am aware of who might make a play for such a dangerous item. One member of the Golgari who might want to get her hands on every possible piece, regardless of respect for the 10. The leader of the guild, the Golgari queen known as Vraska. You will be able to find her in the Undercity at the Stone Fair Court. Those items will sort of fade from existence, and in their place, the ledger appears.
Yeah.
And behind it, the faint image of Celias's portrait. You may use the secrets you have gained and will gain from him, against him, to destroy him when the time comes. Until then, breathe in patience and breathe out focus. You have much work left to be done. Lies are often sold as truths and used just as effectively. That is the way of things. It seems that you are lying, not to your compatriots, but perhaps to yourself. The items will disappear again, and you'll see the faces of Tutoru and Lucian and Astaroth. Most Ravnikans lead lives of desperate survival. Those who thrive are malleable enough to change with the ever-shifting winds and politics of the guilds. Being a Demure does not mean sealing yourself off from the world. Far from it. Being a Demure means more. Trust means more to a Demure than to any other guild. I encourage trust. I encourage finding common ground. You're in a unique position. Use it.
I think I understand.
I do not wish for you to be alone. Ravnica can make you hard. Ravnica is a lonely place. You need others to survive. Fortunately for me, I am others.
That is convenient.
Do you have anything else?
I believe that is all that I had for now.
Thank you, Agent Velma Sweet. Please, take this as a token to prove to your friends what you say is true and the veracity of their claims. And wear this and take your place amongst the shadows, wise, lethal, and unseen.
I mentally hold my hand out, like.
In your hands appear a sealed envelope and a small locket.
Okay. So I put the locket on. That kind of works that I wore this today.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
I will see you soon. You might see me later than that. The tentacles will unspool from around you. The suckers unseal from your skin. The six-tentacled horror backs away and writhes out behind the sight of a column. and you are left in darkness. You find your way back to the elevator, able to get back in, still dark. As you rise through the elevator, the light begins to peek back through. In one hand, you have, thank you. I hope that brain rave.
Oh my god.
I hope that brain rave was fun for everybody.
When it got to like, there's only one V in the Golgari, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Right. We didn't go that high.
Oh my god, I said so much
Oh,
writing.
boy.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna read my own notes later.
In one hand, you have a large metal, looks a little bit similar to your pocket watch,
Okay.
but larger.
Okay.
It is a locket.
Okay.
It seems plain at first sight.
I think I would ask Ethel for like a private, like how like
Oh,
banks
welcome back.
Thank you, Ethel. I like Ethel. You know how banks have like safe deposit box rooms where you can go and look at your things without.
Of course.
Yeah. Is there a place that I can go look at some items that the?
Keep in mind that the most safe and secure places in all of Ravnica are often neither.
That's true.
Feel free to use any of the private quarters.
Yeah. And I had it. Well, I assume anyone in this building knows what I have because like the boss just gave it to me.
Right.
So yeah. So I go. I just wanted a private place to sit down and kind of collect my thoughts and open things. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. The envelope is a plain envelope with no insignia on it of any kind. You can make an investigation check if you want.
Okay.
No need. Hot dog coupons. Here we go.
The secret to the best hot dogs in all of Ravnica.
That's what the Demure Guild was founded to protect.
Exactly.
Okay, so I only have an 8 on that.
Okay.
We thought
It's a
House
plain
hot
envelope.
dogs was
Okay.
too obvious.
I would actually take a look at the pendant first, I
Yeah.
think, because it's like already open and in
Sure.
my hand.
The pendant is a Demure Charm.
Ooh.
You now have a Demure Charm.
Yes. That is
So-
a game mechanic, and those of you who
Here,
have the
I'll
book
let
in your
you.
hands know what that is.
Here, I'll
Yeah.
just let you have this page.
It's real
real
powerful.
quick, so you can
Powerful.
copy down what it does. and
Okay,
put
well, I'll
it
take a
back
picture.
in.
I have that copy. So I will let the viewers know that the Demure Charm, when you activate this charm, you can cast the Blink or Sleep spell. Alternatively, when you take damage, you can use your reaction to turn invisible and teleport up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space you can see. You remain invisible until the start of your next turn or until you attack or cast a spell. The charm vanishes after you attack it. Now, guild charms are a thing that you get as a treasure as part of your guild, and they... I think you have to get to like renown 10 or higher to get them.
Typically.
And
Typically, you have to get to renown 10 or higher. Now, we haven't really been dealing with renown in this game so much yet. The reason why is it's very new to me, and I don't know how to use it.
Yeah.
However, in this game, I would say that, for example, in the situation with Amara, that would have been a renowned situation. With your mother just now, that's probably another renowned situation in dealing with Captain Tristy or Lieutenant Greth or somewhere in there. So I would say that you guys are gaining renown. We can go over that more later, but I got a lot of other stuff to deal with. In this case, you are not yet at round 10.
Yeah.
This is a special assignment where you've been given this item.
And unlike some items that are like once per day usage or stuff like that, guild charms actually vanish after they've been used a certain amount of time. So this is not an unlimited thing. And typically what happens with the charms is if you are at level 10...
If you haven't taken a picture yet. Go ahead.
I have it on my phone. I have the PDF, so I can just take a screenshot of that.
Okay.
For today I better take it just in case.
fine.
Sorry. No, I better do it just in case. Sorry.
So anyway, they do
I'll do
expire. Like they're a one use, and then when you use it, you lose it.
Yeah.
Kind of deal.
Normally, if you were at the right renown level, when you get your charm, you get it at the beginning of a mission you were doing that is on behalf of that guild. So in this case, I'm getting it for a special reason. But
So
I don't remember what the Demure Charm card does, but it's a pretty similar sort of idea.
indeed,
yeah.
there are 3 things you can do,
Produce
just like in
mana.
Magic, which is very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so that has happened now. Where are you all going to meet back up?
Didn't we agree to meet at the station in District 4?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we would send word if we couldn't.
We said tomorrow though, but this is going to be sooner, which is fine.
It's fine.
Well, you
We'll
can
just
still
say-
send a message.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
We'll say that you guys get back together.
Okay.
we figured it out.
Yeah.
So you are at Precinct 4 Station.
Yeah. You know what? Let's say that I headed towards. I think I was there less time than they were dealing with stuff at the Azorius.
Mhm.
So maybe I met them in front of New Prom.
Okay.
To make time go faster.
Okay.
So you you 3 move out of New Prov. Did you do anything while you were in your office, by the way?
I don't think so. I think we were kind of in a hurry after that happened to just leave.
I think the whole time as we're leaving, though, I'm saying things like,
So, like, how did you ever call her mom, or was it always like Senator Laudrian? Senator Laudrian, I spilled my milk.
What? That's ludicrous. Why is this such a big thing for you?
I'm just trying to imagine what your childhood was like.
Well, that's hard to imagine. I will give you that.
You leave the Laev column, and once again you are passing the South Records Hall as you spot Velma right there, sort of hanging out.
Yeah,
leaning
just sitting
against
on.
the
I'm not even trying to hide. I'm not like doing like my stealth stuff. I'm just like sitting on a bench, like reading a book.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's odd.
Yeah.
Also, we just saw someone who was you, and so this is a bit strange.
Yeah.
In the distance, I mean, so you're in front of like a large. This is I forget what this place is called. It's called Azor's. I think it's called like Azor's Patio or something weird like that. It's not really Azor's, not patio, but it's Azor's Forum. That's what it's called.
Okay.
Azor's Forum.
Azor's Patio is like
It was pretty good.
a pretty chill drinks place
right,
you can go.
Azor's Forum spreads out in front of you. It is completely flat. Very unusual for Ravnica. Ravnica, it's the 10th district is built on like a mountain peak, sort of, and so the top is rocky and has outcroppings, and there are lots of things associated with this particular district that are a little bit different. To find a completely flat surface, you could only find it in Azorius territory. It is beautiful, but it's also kind of intimidating. It spreads out in front of you. You also see the South Guild Hall. In the distance, you see the towering buildings of Ravnica. Cloudy morning.
Okay. Also, I want to say she is Velma right now. She is not wearing her traveling makeup stuff. Like she is, because she's in a public space.
Sure.
And she is presenting herself as Velma Sweet. Like she is being very like, she's not trying to hide who she is right now.
Didn't we say we were going to meet her tomorrow?
Yeah.
All right. Let's make sure it's who she says she is.
I agree.
Agreed.
We'll approach cautiously.
Velma, you.
Hi, Velma.
Officer?
I was an officer. I wasn't expecting.
Inspector
that.
is what she calls you, sorry.
Also,
Inspector.
that. I mean, what are you doing in Azorius territory? I thought you weren't a fan.
I'm not a fan of walking into the office where I know someone's probably going to get arrested.
All right. Say something only Velma would know.
You're often late for your shifts, and I let it slide because you're effective when you do it, but I'm not a fan of it.
That checks out. Checks
While
out.
she's doing that, I'm like behind her with my trunk, just kind of smelling.
Sure.
Yeah.
Roll an
She smells like
advantage.
Velma.
Yeah, I'm not
Investigation
smelling
at advantage.
Smell
I
ma.
mean, she smells like Velma. Like,
Like, oh, yeah,
Does
that
she
is
smell?
her.
she's Smelma.
Smell
You said it's advantage?
Advantage because you're smelling.
11.
What do you smell like, Velma?
Well, she's been traveling a lot lately, so she's probably pretty rank. Like, not rank, but she definitely smells like someone who's like had the road on her a little bit.
You smell like Tentacle Monster.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah,
have
it's
a
probably a little
perfume
You
bit.
smell
that
like
always
calamari.
wear?
Yeah.
In the distance, you also see Old Prov, which you don't see that often from your office.
Sure.
But it is a nice, interesting site. This is where the old Guild Hall was built and later destroyed as part of the Decamillennial events. When
That
the-
party went crazy.
When the Boros flagship Parhelion crashed into the...
I wasn't driving it.
Might as
Is
well.
that why you don't like airships?
No.
I think it's like guild memory of sorts.
Guild sense memory. My business wrapped early, and I have things to share with you.
That's wonderful. I'm happy to tell you. You can say I told you so. We did almost get arrested, so we need to
true.
leave post haste.
There was a doppelganger up there. It looked like you for a little while. It looked like all of us.
So it knew my face.
Yeah,
Yes.
Which is
troubling.
alarming.
That is very alarming.
it said a lot of things that were pretty alarming.
Including its regards it sent from Dr. Bavlik.
That's the man I mentioned to you in the bookstore. So,
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I have information. I would rather not speak here. Let's go back to my. We're not very far from.
You're
the
very
General
close to the
So let's
Stray.
go back to the Stray.
All right.
All right.
It's the only place I know we can speak freely, and I think that's something we desperately need to do. So we head back to the Stray.
Great.
Yep.
You make your way across Azor's Forum, walking past Old Prov, which is like a large. It's sort of getting reclaimed right now. It did get crashed into by a giant Angel Fortress ship, so it's sort of been reclaimed as a wilderness preserve. The magic is still around it, though, and so there is not birds and insects. It is simply plant growth and a little bit of an urban utopia.
Would you
sort
say
of
the
in
magic
Really nice.
is gathering there?
I would say that, yes.
Cool.
Okay, she's not wearing the pendant over her cloak like Riley is right
Yeah.
now. She definitely has that hidden away. I just realized. Like,
The other thing that's interesting, the other thing that's
great.
interesting about old and new Prov is that there is magic around it that sort of dulls it and makes it a little bit quieter.
Oh, that makes sense.
And as you move past Old Prov, you head towards Whitestone and Griffin Heights and back onto Court Street. The noise picks up. The hustle and bustle of the city picks back up, and you are sort of on your way back towards. In the distance, you see the airships sort of taking off and landing from Augustin Station, heading sort of in that direction. Anything you want to do on your way to the Stray, or are we just going straight to
I
the
think
Stray?
there's business to take care of, so I think she's pretty. At least I don't know about them, but Delma's very like focused right now.
I think we are too.
Yeah.
I think that encounter has really like put us on
Kind of
high
fire.
alert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you walk back to the Transguild Promenade. You're a little bit north of your location, so you turn south and walk down the promenade. It is a pleasant day, a little bit of a fall breeze in the air. You walk past the Mind Grind and a couple of the other shops that are near your establishment, and on the street corner you see, for the first time in a few days, the pleasant sign of a nice-looking upright house cat hanging above the generous Stray.
And it's on fire.
Do you mind if we grab a coffee before we go in? I need a coffee so badly.
Coffee.
So she heads into the mind
Sound
grind.
grind.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
Actually.
she buys everybody a round of coffee.
Okay.
And then we head into the Stray.
Really nice artisan coffee shop. There's a drip machine.
We don't have time for pour over, so we're
Okay.
using drip.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sure.
It takes forever here for the pour over. So we head into the Stray. Is there anything like out of sorts or anything?
Doesn't
you know?
look like it.
Okay.
It's the middle of the day on
Okay.
like a Tuesday or what, it's a weekday. So Sunny is there. Sunny appears to be scrubbing the bar.
Okay.
Hey boss, long time no see. Where you been? You been drinking?
A little bit.
All right.
Have you been drinking?
Of course.
Of course. I'm glad to hear it. Well, how has the night been? How is Tangi around?
Tangi's at home right now. She was busy last night because she's been in charge.
Fair enough. Tell her I said thank you for her service.
Of course.
She may still be required for a few more nights. Let her know that. But let her have her rest for now.
All right.
If you three will follow me, I want to show you this book that I found. And then so she like heads into her office.
All right. As we go through, I kind of one-handedly toss my axe to Sunny because I know that we're not supposed to take weapons with us into the Stray.
All right. He catches it and doesn't collapse under his weight.
Aw,
And Sunny,
Thanks.
Sunny, for this moment, I will forgive the uniforms. And then, the
Oh right. Yours.
walking in
Yeah.
uniform.
Yeah. Okay. You're the boss.
So she heads into the office and closes the door behind them once they're in there.
Great.
And then she walks over to.
So this is by office. What do you mean by office? Are we in that bedroom that we were in?
No, we're in Velma's office in the downstairs area
portion?
that has the secret passageway.
Gotcha.
So which sets I just gave it away.
Well,
So
spoilers.
So she goes behind her desk and she pushes a button and a hole opens up in the floor and there is an
Whoa.
old cobblestone staircase that leads down and yeah, that's a thing.
This seems like a security breach. All right.
I mean, I'm the one breaching it and I own the place, so it's fine.
I'm just a little more surprised by this. This is not what I expected. I knew some
perhaps-
shady stuff went on back here,
Well,
but
perhaps you should be a more alert security guard. She's teasing you. She's not. She's doing it as a joke. So she like walks down the stairs and says, "If those of you cannot see in the dark, I perhaps recommend a torch."
Right. I'll cast light on my pocket watch
All right.
and come down.
So she takes you down, and downstairs, like as like opulent and well decorated as the upstairs is, the downstairs is like none of that. It's like a stripped down.
Yep.
This used to be a Rakdos club.
Right.
And
This
so
has
there is
not been the basement has not been redone.
Yeah. There is definitely like spaces that may or may not be used for interrogation, but it is definitely, you can tell this is like where Velma goes, where she doesn't have to put on airs at all while she's working, and like it's a space, and she gets us down there, and she locks the door to her office so people can't come in from the outside.
Can we pause real quick
Sure.
just to appreciate the image of a Loxodon trying to go down a
spiral,
spiral
yeah.
staircase?
No, it's not
Staircase.
spiral. It's just a stone staircase.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just
No.
brushing up against the
Just a
wall for every
slide.
turn.
Yeah. No, it's just like down into like a dungeon basically. So she takes us down there, and the first thing she like gets quiet, and she looks at Tutaru, and she says, "I understand that one of your gifts is the ability to compel someone to tell the truth.
Yes, that is true.
I am going to consent to you casting that spell upon me. I will not fight it."
What's this all about, Velma?
I need to speak clearly, and I need you to understand that I am speaking true. I want there to be no doubt about the veracity of the words that I have said, because I know that has been an issue in the past. So I am giving you the understanding that anything I say for the mere future is true.
Oh, Velma. You really do that for us?
Yes.
Oh, I kind of like get really little.
And she's like hating it. She's like you're hugging. If you hug her, she's like.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, I'm so proud of you.
So you can ritually cast that, right?
I don't know.
Zone of Truth?
Yeah. I don't want
It's a
any burn
spell
spells.
for me. I don't know if
But I think some spells can be cast ritually.
if you have the ritual.
If you have the
caster
ritual
Oh, okay.
cast.
Can clerics not cast it ritually? Okay.
Not.
But
Yeah,
that's fine. It's worth
Okay.
it.
Probably
Okay.
worth it.
Yeah.
That's what I was
I
going
didn't
to say.
want to like force you to spend a spell
No.
slot.
It's like,
Okay.
we can use a spell slot for a good story.
Yeah, I
element.
think
Yeah, I know. I just don't want to force another player to use a
Yeah.
spell slot.
Totally.
So something interesting about saves
Mhm.
is you can choose to fail a save.
That's what I'm
as
doing.
as a player character.
Yeah, that's
I'm
what
just
I'm doing.
clarifying for
Yeah,
folks at home. Even in a game mechanic sense, you may choose to fail.
Yeah, which is what I'm doing. So I'm not even going to roll. I'm just going to choose to fail.
Who else is going to be in a 15-foot diameter?
I mean, I probably will be.
I'll probably just casually fail without choosing.
Sure.
I have nothing to hide.
Great.
All right, are you ready?
There's a zone of truth.
Let's do this.
Okay, so how does this look flavor-wise?
I-
Sorry, that's your job. I'm sorry.
Yeah, how does it
Sorry.
look?
How does the zone of truth look?
Mhm, For a Celestian.
For a Celestian zone of truth, you sort of extend your large. How many fingers do Celestians have? 4 or 5?
You mean
17?
Loxodons?
Celestians, there's
sorry.
lots of
Do
different.
I really have like?
Do all
You have
Celestians
hands,
look alike
yes.
to you?
Oh, yeah, that's
I'm
right.
gonna look
we're
up a
humanoid.
Oh god, that
I think
clock
it's
scared the
4.
crap out
Yeah,
of me.
it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you extend your hand, and from it appears a sort of pulsing white light that sort of extends and extends and grows out, and then it sort of pops like a bubble, as sort of like a dandelion. If you blew on it, various bits of magic sort of float through the air in a 15-foot diameter and dissipate.
And you hear little fairies.
Sure.
As they
Why not?
participate.
You are now in a zone of truth.
Okay. First of all, she does convey the information about the book and everything that she got from Lazov to you in conversation.
I never said that it was Lazov.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
No,
That was OC. That
Someone.
wasn't, she didn't say Lazov. She just told
the
you.
tentacle monster.
So what she said was, I
Conspiracy confirmed.
spoke. sorry, Ruby. I spoke to my guild, and I spoke to some people who have information on the stuff that I was investigating at the scene of the crime, and this is the information that I was able to receive. So I gave all the information that
So
I
we know
was
you're
given.
Demure.
Not yet. That's what I'm gonna get to.
Yeah.
So I just don't want to have to like repeat it
Right.
actually in scene, and I don't want the audience listen to the scene that they just heard.
They just heard,
So
yeah.
she conveys that. She conveys
You
the
mean- yeah,
complimentary
you-
view of the guild, the wild man, the court notes, what the book is about. She conveys that the bookseller, the reader, the literature professor, there's been another murder. I am further convinced that the death of Mookie is a different situation than the death of these 3 individuals.
Oh, interesting.
Now, there may be a connection still, but I have yet to find information about it. I convey the information about the blueprints that I found. So this is where I talk about Salias. And then I pause.
So you found the blueprints.
Yeah,
So do you show the blueprints?
I do.
Okay. The blueprints have a similar insignia on them to the envelope that had the payment.
Wow.
And then
Orzhov are a lot better informed about this than I expected.
Well, it's funny that you bring that information up. That's the next detail. On the matter of Salias. I have been working against Salias for a very long time. I have been working against him in a professional capacity for the better part of a decade. However, I have had a vendetta against him personally for much, much longer than that, dating back to my childhood. It is because of this vendetta that I was initially recruited for the purposes of bringing him down. I was not recruited, and it is for this reason that I infiltrated the Orzhov Guild. And then she flashes her hand over her guild insignia, and it changes from the Orzhov one to visibly being the Demure insignia.
All right. You're a librarian?
Sure. I mean, I do have lots of books around. It shouldn't be a surprise.
I don't think librarian quite fits.
That's what the Demure do, right? They're archivists and librarians. They're bookish types.
Does Velma seem like a librarian to you?
I'm a bookish type.
I think there's something I'm not following here. That's what I'm saying.
And then she pulls out the envelope that she was given, that she hasn't looked at yet, and she says, I understand that you are men of law, and that the law and orders of guilds carry a lot of weight with you, and I respect that, and I apologize in the past for not being forthcoming about that for me. However, I do ask you to understand that I was acting in accordance to what I believed to be the law of my guild by doing so. I believed that I was forbidden from giving you information that I was not permitted to share. I have now been given that information. I have now been given that permission, and I am openly sharing it with you. And she lays the envelope out. She goes, I have not yet seen what is in this envelope, but I have been told that it will show you both that I have legal authority to end the life of Salias upon proof of the guilt of his actions.
An authorized guild kill order?
I am not sure that's what's in there, but that is what I am trying to convey to you. I am authorized to end the life of Salias. Salias' operation has been lasting for decades. He is a vampire. He is very long-lived. He has collected the children that he can feed from, but he has also, with his talents, learned how to traffic them to guilds that may or may not need laborers or experimental subjects or other such things. The Cynic for their hybrid experiences. The Rakdos for entertainment purposes. The Izzet to also experiment on for magical reasons. The Golgari for workers of who knows what spawn they wish to create. Someone with that skill is often protected. Someone with that skill often has people looking out for him. So it has been a very long and slow process to investigate. As I told Tuturu the other night, and when we slept in the room of her guild, in the moment that we were in the office of the heist, I believe that taking out Salias in that moment could be passed off as the result of a robbery gone wrong. It felt like an opportune moment to provide his death, and as thus purge Ravnica of a horrific monster, the head of a vile snake.
So Astaroth will take the letter and just put it up on the tip of his horn and use it like a letter opener.
You have a blade!
I don't know. This is just how I learned to do it when I was a kid.
And then he's going to take it and take the letter and go, here you go. And hand it to Lucian. As Azrak can read. He's just like the move your mouth while you do it kind of reader.
Right.
Who learned late in life.
Right. So I'll take a look at this letter.
Okay.
What does it say?
It is. There is no letterhead. There is no insignia on it that you can discern. You're holding the light up to it?
Yeah.
Is that what you're doing right now?
Yeah.
Okay. As you hold the light up to it, there is a watermark.
Oh,
The
okay.
watermark is the Demure Guild symbol.
Okay.
Spooky.
Am I the only one who is surprised by the Demure suddenly having killers and assassins and stuff? I thought that was kid stories. That's real?
What I know.
History check, I guess. Would you know that there are Demure people, like that the Demure do that?
Well, that they're not just librarians, like information brokers. Yeah.
Go ahead and roll.
I feel like I would.
I feel like someone high up in the Azorius would know this kind
19.
of stuff, but
19. Yeah, you can roll 2.
I forgot. Like the book actually tells me how I should feel about Demure, and I forgot what it was.
what was this, history?
History.
I only got a 10, I think.
Okay.
11.
Yeah, I've just made the decision that I don't know
I love
anything
it.
about the
Yeah.
Demure except their
great.
public front.
Yeah, it's
Public,
great.
I
the
love
public
it.
front. The Demure are headquartered at Dinrova Heights in Precinct 5. They are useful for information and organization and librarian services and marketing. You do also suspect, just as all guilds have some other purpose,
Right.
that the Demure perhaps are using their skills in other ways. The letter itself reads, all those who trade in questions must answer to the Demure. Agent Velma Sweet has authority to pursue and vindicate the target known as Solias. There is no signature at the bottom. Make a investigation check.
19 plus 2, 21.
Okay. The letters are raised in places to signify, essentially, there is a code hidden in the letter.
And can I put that together?
You can. It is a signature,
Oh.
and the signature is of Lazav.
And is that a well-known fact that he is the leader of the Demure?
You would know that. I think you would know that.
I think
Maybe not. Maybe I'm messing with the canon a little bit here. Maybe that's not a.
But it could also
Maybe
be the
no.
sort of thing that just like on a sort of like magical planet in your mind thing, you're like, oh, this is legit.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I might be playing fast and loose with the canon there, but
That's
whatever.
It's your
It's
game.
our
You're
world.
the DM.
Yeah, exactly. It's my game. I'm the DM, so I'll
Yeah.
figure that out.
You're pretty well connected, Azorius. You might know some things that a lot of people would not.
Yeah, that's what I was
That's true.
thinking, is that being the son of a senator who eats information for breakfast, lunch, and dinner wants to know this kind of thing, but probably has never seen it firsthand. So.
So take that, Mom.
So
It's Senator Ladrin.
This hole underneath my club is me. Everything above this, every decoration, every curtain, every order of drink, every song sang is the creation of a face that was designed to indebt herself to the Orzhov, find her way into the organization, and slowly learn information about Solias. Now, I believe the Orzhov themselves would ultimately be glad to be gone of Solias, but have had no power to remove him. I don't believe the Demure send anyone like myself into the situation without feeling a little bit secure in what the various guild higher-ups would want to do, but I feel that Solias is too powerful to simply take down. That is why I have been working slowly, trying to find information that can be unstoppable to bring him down. And if I am unable to do that, then it is my task to destroy him.
Why tell us this now?
Because I believe that Salias is intertwined with the murder investigation that we are all working on together. As I said, I found these instructions in the thing, and that's when I point to the
blueprints?
The blueprints. These were found in the safe in Salias' office. This is the company that is connected to Dr. Bavlik. This is the rival of the Jescaren's house, so there is something happening there. And I want to continue working with you to help solve this murder, and I believe these stories are connected. On a personal note as well, as was pointed out very angrily and aggressively by my friend here, I put you all in danger by trying to act upon my instructions, and I do believe that it is fair, now that I have been given authority to do so, to let you know why.
That insignia on those blueprints, I think I have something that matches. And I'll pull out the note that I have.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a receipt for a payment of some sort. I don't know what it relates to, but you might be right. This might be connected.
Did you guys did you fill in Velma and like what you learned on the way to the stray, or were you still not trusting her as far as like the...
I think we were a little weirded out by the whole situation, so we probably didn't tell you.
Okay.
But at this point,
But
Okay.
I think it's fair to assume we just share everything.
Okay,
Yeah.
so now she
Coming
knows
from
that you have
here,
your trial's been delayed for now.
It's also just obnoxious to like remember. All right, was I there? The scene we learned this.
Yeah, that's why I just wanted to make the audience hear everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and also you probably would just start saying things and be like trying not to tell the truth, and then you would just do it.
Yeah.
doesn't call us
Real-
mom.
Real quick.
I definitely let you know about that.
You are holding the receipt that the doppelganger had
Yes.
in your hand.
Yes.
Velma, make a perception check.
Okay. That's going to be a 21. No, sorry, 17.
You smell faint traces of glow spore.
Of course I do.
The signature decay that you smelled earlier that you didn't know what it was.
Oh, great.
Golgari.
So glow spore is sort of like a drug for a lot of people, right? So I've probably I probably would know what glow spore is, right?
Potentially. Yeah.
I haven't been to schools and be like, all right, kids,
No.
let's talk about abusing glow spore.
Right.
Yeah. Velma has dealt with it up close and personal. Not herself personally, but it's very... So
It's not uncommon. It is not... I wouldn't say that it is like it's a pretty nefarious thing, but there are more nefarious substances.
Is it a street drug?
This is a street drug.
Would they call it shrooms on the street or something like that?
Yeah, they call it shrooms on the street.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely, they would call it. Yeah, get on the shrooms, right?
Yeah.
Called spore.
But that's in its like traditional street drug kind of form. There is theoretically there's rumor of it being sort of used in other ways, but its most common usage
like
is
pizza.
Yeah, right. Its most common usage is as a recreational device.
Cool.
So, Tutaru,
Yes.
you are currently on trial, or you are currently a person of interest in a precognitive trial for breaking into the Jescaren's home.
Yes.
Now, it seems to me that we need to clear your name of this crime, thus making a trial unnecessary. And I believe the best course of action to do that would be, rather than breaking and entering into the Jescaren's home, is that we go there and ask them to let us in of their own free will, thus negating the concept of a break and enter. The reason why I think this is the true idea, the good idea, I'll explain it, is that they did not allow your captain in when she came in speaking as an authority on behalf of the Boros. But if we go, as a group of multi-guild members, I believe we will convince them that we are working outside of a particular guild's interest. They are guildless, and they have particular reason to distrust the guilds as an organization. But I do believe that individuals working to solve a mystery on our own behalf, rather than as of a guild group, may have more sway with them.
Well, it's worth a shot, but I know your experience is breaking into houses and getting in things normally, but as someone who's done a decent amount of knocking on doors, people can be pretty stubborn, but I think it could be worth trying.
I would say that I'm far more experienced with talking with people and getting information out of them that way.
Sure.
All right, we can't change this plan once we enact it. We cannot decide once we're there that we're going to break in.
Oh, absolutely,
Absolutely
not.
not.
As long as we're clear on that. Astaroth.
Well, I'm just saying, I know you love to have plans, all right? But plans don't always go like they're supposed to, all right? And when have we ever done something that has gone exactly like we expected?
If we break into there, that's the evidence they need.
Let me explain something to you. I don't want to break into this house. I have no interest in breaking into this house. I don't feel like breaking into this house will solve any problems. I believe speaking with Jess Karen's family and perhaps permission to see if the ghost of the Jess Karen's son, Mebans, the murder victim, is still around. That is where we will get information. And I believe that we can buy that conversation with this. And she holds the blueprints. These blueprints found of their rivals' plans in conjunction with these murders could buy us some interest of their part. They may convince them that we are on their side and we want to uncover what is actually happening here.
It's worth a shot.
And perhaps you could speak to them. They don't know that Mookie's death is not involved in these murders. And we may still be wrong about that detail.
They don't know about Mookie at all, I don't believe.
But if you convince them that you are friends with someone who was murdered in the same way as their son and you were just trying to get information, they may be willing to talk to you. In fact, I believe that Tutaru should lead the conversation.
Let's not forget, if this doesn't work out, we also know where the source of some of this stuff is coming from. Golgari always give me the creeps, but if we gotta go in there and bust some heads, well, that's what we gotta do.
While I share your disdain for the Golgari, I do also agree with you that very likely we will have to go down that tunnel at some point.
Yes, well, those tunnels break all sorts of rules and regulations under the grounds of Ravnica, but they do keep the refuse and recycling going in the city, so they are not completely to be discarded, as it were. But I agree that I think Tutaru leading this conversation might be our best card to pull.
Is that comfortable with you?
Oh, absolutely. If it gets us one step closer to figuring out what's happening to Mookie and the others, I'm all for it.
So you are in the Generous Stray right now. Seems you have a course of action you're trying to follow.
Yes.
It's a bit of a jaunt across town.
I believe that the officer would prefer we hire a carriage, and I think that we can afford that.
Very much so.
Just stay on the ground. Just this once. All right? Look, one time on the ground and then we can do your flying terror again.
A carriage with just one propeller. Not two, just one. They'll just float a little bit.
Baby steps.
Yeah. We're not trying to hide our travel like we were last time, so I think that taking a carriage will be fine. Or
Sure.
whatever vehicle. But.
So you flag down a lift. Yeah, you get it on your app.
Scry a lift.
Yeah.
Yeah, you scry a lift.
My earpiece.
You get a carriage, just being drawn by some horses and a driver, and you begin making your way up Transguild Promenade over to up to a regular cross street. Maybe not not Nat Alley, but you're able to cut across. You are actually going to go through Precinct 1, which you guys haven't done a ton of thus far, so let's give a little bit of flavor to that.
Yeah.
Right.
Velma does, re-hide her Demure insignia once she leaves the office.
So you are cutting up north on the I'll try to do this for the audience here. So you cut up north on the Transguild Promenade and are moving now west across as the Transguild Promenade goes parallel to 10th District Plaza for about a mile. 10th District Plaza is the exact center of Ravnica. It is heavily patrolled by Azorius arresters. The plaza itself is considered neutral ground for the guild. At the far south end of the plaza is the chamber of the guild pact, which is the cylindrical egg-like kind of structure. But this is, not only is this guild Switzerland, but even guildless. It's even for unaligned and gangs and people like that. There's nothing that happens here. This is safe ground. And to that end, brandishing weapons in this entire area, this entire park that's about maybe a quarter of a mile wide and 10 miles long, is strictly illegal and enforced.
That's why they'll take this area for the generous stray.
There you go.
So can we have the weapons on us? We just
for
can't
sure.
like take them out.
You can't brandish
I
them.
mean, you're a cop, so.
Yeah.
So as you're traveling up 10th District Plaza, you have the neighborhoods of Plaza East, Plaza West, and Plaza South to the directions that you would expect. And also to the west, you also see the imposing visage of Orzhova, the Church of Deals, right on the edge of the 10th District. Exactly. You see Orzhova, and directly next to it, slightly behind it, Vizkopa Bank, the bank of the Orzhov, who do a lot of the money handling and exchanging and loans and banks and all of those things. Orzhova, of course, is nicknamed the Cathedral Opulent. And part of the Cathedral Opulent Plaza and campus is also the Grand Library, which is the Orzhov Library, which is a member's private library that you've been in many times, looking through your various things. Its basement is also off limits. You have not been down there.
Sure, I haven't.
But you, well,
Okay.
sure. But you suspect that there perhaps is something more beneath the surface in that building as well. Part of that campus is also the Harmony Basilica, which is a beautiful domed building with a bunch of ancient stained glass in it, which is just south of Plaza Avenue, as it were. And that is the district through which you're traveling. On the way across, you sort of pass in between districts 1 and 4 as you cut across, passing by the Center Fort and Rokerik Pavilion. A little bit further away, you're not exactly passing past it. This is also an area, a neighborhood called Coiner's Row, which is the area of Ravnica where most of Ravnica's coins were originally minted and forged. Now that's typically guild specific. If guilds are minting their own coinage, like the Orzhov do it in Vizkopa Bank, for example, the Ravnicans do it in the foundries. Some guilds don't even use coinage, or they just use coinage from the other guild. For example, Celestian doesn't really have coins so much as they just use whatever currency comes in and.
It's like share, you know.
Yeah, it's part. I mean, it's good everywhere.
We just
Gold is
recruit
gold.
members and make them give us all their things.
Yeah, gold is gold, so it's good everywhere.
While in the carriage, Velma does take off any of her guild stuff, including Orzhov stuff, and does put back on her disguise. So she's presenting herself as guildless for the and she'll tell you that. Like, I am not going to present myself to them as an Orzhov. I think that having a guildless member of the group will further persuade just Karens to want to speak with us.
All right.
As you are.
My name is Valerie.
Valerie.
We will try to remember that.
Good to know. As you make your way into Precinct 5. Precinct 5, you two have spent a good amount of your younger years in Precinct 5 as students. Precinct 5 is the most learned of the precincts. It's also the most guildless, theoretically, of the precincts. Although Zonot 7 is located here and dominates a large portion of the precinct. It's about maybe 1.5 miles in diameter, sinkhole, essentially, that is full of water. This is the home of Zamek, which is the Simic Guild Hall, located beneath the surface. Not a particularly ceremonial-looking kind of place. There is a lot of activity around here, primarily because the waters of the Zonot, and all of the Zonot, are thermal. There's thermal activity deep within Ravnica that keeps keeps it at a nice spa-like temperature. Maybe not that hot, but there's a ton of folks around here. There's also Sage's Row, which is a boardwalk of shops and stalls and folks who are selling the various tools of knowledge and information and things like that. You met a guy who has a stall here a little while ago.
Is that where I bought the Boros pen?
No, that was on Ivy Lane.
Okay.
One of the Vidalcan who came into the Generous Stray discussing
yes,
payment
Yeah.
has a stall on the Sage's Row. So you can't see Zamek from the surface, but it is down there.
Great.
As you sort of move past the Zonot, you do see beings and humanoids that you do not see in other parts of Ravnica. You see mer folk, people who are sort of fishy and have scales. Occasionally, they're not super common, but you see them on occasion. You also
They're always like hovering under really being a tier deck of any sort. So.
Yeah, they're really tier 2. A tier 2 tribe, for sure. You also see humans, but they sort of... Humans, but less human, I would say. You see humans with perhaps an extra set of arms, or a tail, or some other feature that is slightly different. These, of course, are Simic hybrids that are members of the Simic Guild and have been altered for a specific purpose. You also pass by, once again, you're passing through the Hightower district on your way up to the Guildless neighborhood near Dinrova, just on the outskirts of the Dinrova neighborhood, where you find a large estate, very, very fancy, large place, gated, sort of brick pillars with iron fencing around the entire estate. It appears as if there is a front gate. It is open right now with a path leading up to a palatial mansion that is perhaps 3 stories tall, maybe 60 feet wide, and the gate itself has, you can sort of tell that if the gate were closed, the insignia on the front would be the letter J.
This is the place.
We're just gonna waltz up.
I think that's the best way to go about things.
All right, I
We
mean,
are presenting ourselves as
doorbell.
people who belong here.
it works for me.
Maybe hide the axe.
Oh, right. Sorry, nervous habit.
So roll a quick perception check.
Everybody?
All of us.
Sure.
Perception. I got a
Oh,
5.
we're the same.
Ha!
I got a 4.
Is your perception higher
Wait,
than-
what?
I got a 5.
I got a 4.
We got 3s.
So we got
like,
7
plus like 2
total.
or something.
We all walk
We're
into a
really
pillar.
good at this,
We
yeah.
got 5 as well.
And this is how we break in.
Yeah. We accidentally walk in the house by
We
accident.
trip the line. Oh!
Burglars!
Should we pay attention? Nah.
Just keep going until you hit a door.
You Yep. You keep going.
We're under arrest immediately.
So are we at the gate? You said the gate was open?
The front, so like the front gate that would allow carriages in,
Yeah.
is open. I assume you get out of the carriage, pay
Yes.
the driver,
Yeah,
give
yeah.
him a 5-star review, and
Yeah.
then he didn't say much.
I give him a
which is
tip.
perfect,
Yeah.
exactly. So you're at the front gate. You can walk up if you want
To the gate or to the house?
to the house.
The gate's open
The
then?
gate is open.
Okay.
There's
then
no
we'll-
like receiving area at the gate.
So it appears as if there is an outer gate, and then at the house there is another sort of front gate.
Okay.
Oh.
Where there is a sort of there's a front gate where there is like bushes and trees in like a front yard kind of area, and then the front door is beyond that.
Okay.
So this is the gate onto the estate as opposed to the gate to the house.
Okay.
The gate to the estate is open. The gate to the house is closed.
As long as I'm not going to get in trouble as soon as I step past the...
That would be a nasty trick.
yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha!
All right. Let's do this then.
We'll approach the next door that is blocking our way.
Okay.
Or gate.
You get up to that gate.
Oh, this place is fancy.
Can I help you? See, you hear a voice, as there appears to be a guard inside of the gate.
Oh, just on the other side?
Just on the other side of the
Okay.
gate. Can I help you?
Good evening? What time of day is
It's
it?
like noon.
Oh, good afternoon. My name is Lucian Ladrian. I am investigator number 0265 of the Azorius Senate, and this is Tuturu of the Selesnya Conclave, Astaroth of the Boros Legion,
How do you do?
and Valerie. She is ungilded. And we are here to speak about Mevans.
The Jeskarans are in mourning and do not wish to be disturbed.
I believe they will want to be disturbed if it is about bringing justice.
Persuasion check.
Persuasion, you said?
Mm-hmm.
12. But
Wait here, and he will head inside.
I didn't look too happy about it.
It's his job.
As long as we can get like word to them at least, I think we'll have a chance.
If they say no, I will let them know that we have documentation that can help them.
You see a Vidalcan approach out of the house. Very finely tailored tails suit, nice vest, very stately, and he will, standing very straight up. Hello, yes. Can I help you?
hello, I am Lucian Ladrian, investigator number 0265 of the Azorius Senate. This is
Very nice to meet you.
Tuturu. I'll flash my badge just in case we need to do that. Tuturu of the Selesnya, Astaroth of the Boros,
Yeah, hey.
and Valerie.
Charm.
That was a weird.
Did you cast Charm just there?
No.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
We have an hour now.
Yeah.
We gotta go.
My name is Cloponi. I am the butler of the Jeskarans estate.
Ah.
I was told that you might have a message to deliver.
Well, we'd like to speak to them directly, if that's all right. This is a very private and sort of confidential matter, and we don't want to let the wrong ears hear it. Not that I'm implying that you are, but I think that they would feel safer if we'd only told them.
The Jeskarans are a very important and respected family, and they are currently in mourning over the death of their son.
Now, I understand that, but I think that's something that you're...
We both all kind of look at each other like,
Something that they might be very interested in is that we have proof of malfeasance from the Tajrik Transportation Corporation. And we have documentation that might interest the Jescaran family. So, if that information doesn't buy us some conversation, I don't know what would. But if that was my kin, I know that I would want to hear about it.
I just can't. That line. That was awesome. Yeah.
Let me know if I'm gonna roll it.
Sure. I mean, one of you is either going to roll at advantage or you're both going to roll. What do you think?
Why don't you roll at advantage? Because like you're
You're backing her play.
I don't like you got a lot of
yeah.
chance to role play this game, so that's why I'm putting you. That's why I put you in charge. I want you to get a chance to play. I feel bad that I was like talking for an hour. So
They fought. They
Yeah,
got
we
to fight.
fought.
They're good.
right.
Roll persuasion at advantage.
Okay, cool. Now, I understand that they are mourning right now, and we do respect that, but time is of the essence, just as why we are pushing to speak with them as soon as possible. 6, 4, 17.
Sure. Of course. I think that under the circumstances, they can be reached. Please, come in. And he will open the gate.
Turn around
Iron
and give them a
Gate.
thumbs up.
Big elephant thumbs.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
we don't need to act
step in,
suspicious, y'all.
and then
We talked honestly.
I'm gonna step in and kind of look up and imagine that those the law mages,
Oh,
the
the
precogs
precogs.
are like, I'm just like,
Yeah. They're watching. As you enter the front sort of patio, not patio,
boy.
the front entryway, there are 2 large trees, big oak trees, sort of flanking the path as you approach, and some bushes and some shrubs. in this sort of courtyard just before you get to the main entrance.
This is fancy town.
It is. It is definitely fancy town.
This is fancy town population. This place.
This family.
This just cares.
This family.
You get to the door.
-1 recently.
And it is a massive wooden door. Double doors, actually, would be what it is.
Albus Dumbledore's?
Albus Dumbledore's. And you see an insignia on the door, which you didn't see earlier, but now that you're here, you can see it much closer.
Is it the Jess guy?
I'm sorry?
Is it the Jess guy?
No, it is not. It is 2 interlocking rings of 5. So there are
3, 4, 3, 4, 1.
right.
Oh,
Sorry.
There are
the
2
Olympics.
interlocking rings of 5, which is sort of a strange representation of the guilds if it is one, but probably isn't one. But that is just what it is, and that's what you see. And that is on the door as you approach. The butler will open the door, and you enter into a stately, well, in front of you, you see a stately, massive, great hall. You're actually currently standing in sort of a entryway foyer that opens directly into a 40 by 60 foot room with vaulted ceilings, massive 20 to 30 foot long dining room table, lots of sideboards on the sides, not the magic kind, with lots of plates and chandeliers and glasses and all that kind of. You're welcome. And open passageways to other portions of the house. Please wait here. I will go get the master of the house. You're standing in the foyer. It's just fancy. There's no really like guild insignias of any kind. It just seems like it is decorated in sort of just like outside with the trees and the shrubs. It looks like that there is sort of carvings in the walls that is sort of art that flows through the house entirely.
This seems like a bit much.
Rich folks like this, they think that they control Ravnica.
I think they might be right.
Yeah, well, it shouldn't be like that.
Roll a perception check.
Nat
Well-
20.
Woo!
Noise.
Nat.
I have a dirty 20.
I got a 7.
Much better than earlier.
Yeah.
This is interesting to you. You see, in the main room, there are 2 passageways that lead this way, and a passageway that leads straight forward. There are 5 exits. There are 5 chairs at the center table. There were 5 rings on each sides of the doors. 5 is not a number that's used particularly often in Ravnica. The number 5 is pervasive as you look around. This tree has 5 branches. There are 5 birds in this painting. There are 5 sets of plates, 5 cups, 5 all over the place.
Wait, how many fingers did the butler have?
So the butler was Vidalkin.
And?
Traditionally, Vidalkins have 6 fingers.
And?
And he killed my father. Prepare to
You're
die.
going to have him come back.
There's a lot of 5s around here.
Speaking of which, the butler will re-enter the room and he will present.
How many fingers?
Please, Lendic Jeskarens. Investigation check right here.
So I can't count fingers?
Come on.
Well,
18
nailed
plus
that.
4.
22.
22.
He has 5 fingers.
What?
Is it like one's been removed, or it's just
With a
natural
20?
5?
With
22,
whatever that was, it looks like he may have lost a finger.
Okay,
Wow.
I was playing that as a
Alright.
goof, but that's kind of weird.
I'm just going to write 5 in my notes with a question mark.
I feel like that's too strange not to ask about. But it's also kind of rude, so I'm not going to.
Yeah. Let's not tip our hat that we've noticed that.
Who did
Hello.
they present?
It's Lendic Jeskarens.
What was the butler's name again?
You don't know the butler's name. We'll call him Butler.
Did he introduce himself?
He said that I am the butler of the Just Karens.
Oh, I thought he. Okay. And
If he did, I've already forgotten. Let's find a good Vidalcan name. In the
You
book
said
here.
Lendic?
Lendic is the name of the Just Karen.
That's Mevin's dad, or we know that?
You don't know
We'll
that
find
yet,
out.
but it's Mevin's dad.
Okay.
his little sister.
Could be a grandfather. Could be an uncle.
Could be any number of things.
I'm a 10-year-old girl.
Give me just a second here. Find a Vidalcan name.
Sorry, we Azorius need more
Ovlan.
paperwork. Say that again.
Ovlan. Ovlan.
What happened to your hand, love?
Do you say that?
Yeah.
Ooh.
That just sounds more like me just being polite in conversation.
Polite.
I'm just curious.
Nothing.
That looked like a nasty
I-
accent.
Absolutely not. This
Oh.
is cosmetic.
Oh, fair enough. We all do things.
Alright.
I got my ears pierced when I was young.
Will there be anything else, Master Just Karens? No, of course. Thank you. Of Oslick?
Ovlan.
Ovlan? Ovlan. I've already forgotten. Be sure to drink your Ovaltine. Yes, I am Lendic Just Karens. Mebbins was my brother. Can I help you in any way?
Well, our condolences first for your loss.
Thank you.
Mighty tragic.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure you also feel that it's quite strange in the method of how he went.
Perhaps, but all great men have enemies, and my brother was great enough to have at least a few. He was interesting man. We miss him greatly. Please come with me, and he will lead you into a den or a trophy room of some kind, and you find yourself in much more comfortable surroundings. There are couches and chairs. This is like the first scene of Clue.
Oh, okay.
Where there's lots of stuff hanging on the walls, lots of sort of presented decorative weaponry, lots of books, and a large painting over a mantelpiece. He was less inclined to the family business, but he was a credit to the family in his historical pursuits. He was he was hoping to be a professor someday. It's too bad that he will not be able to pursue that. What were your names again? I apologize.
I am Lucian Ladrian.
I'm Tuturu.
Astarock.
You can call me Val.
Very nice to meet you all. If you would please, however, in the House of Just Karens, we would prefer no guild insignias. So please put those away if you would.
Oh, sure. I've also got. I'll just cover it.
Cover it up with your cloak. Yeah, just sort of like take a throw pillow and put it in front.
Yeah.
Just like standing the whole time like this.
Mr. Lendic, although we do represent our guilds, we're here on a matter that is more important than that.
I'm sorry. What was that about?
Is he like staring off? What is he
Yeah,
doing?
perception check or insight check.
Oh, insight. That was kind of weird.
Nope. Critical one.
Hey, it's a 12, I think? Yeah, I got a 12. 14.
Okay.
Oh.
He appear. You can if you want to or not.
I got a nat 20.
Hey!
Great.
You're welcome
You
for
were
those
also
guys.
the one that spotted all the
Roll.
fives,
That's true.
right? So you see in the and you might be able to pick up on the context clues of Astarock sort of seeing this. He sort of is lost in thought as he's staring at the chandelier in the room. Do you want to guess how many candles the chandelier has?
Probably like 10 because of the guilds.
5. It's 5.
Oh.
And so he's sort of distracted by that until you sort of jolt his attention back. The 5 theme continues throughout this room as well. You have information, you say.
Yes. Actually, let me turn you over to Tuturu, who can better explain.
Hi, yes. So our group here, we are working together to investigate a similar incident that happened to a friend of mine, and we are looking for more information about what might have happened to Mebin so that we might be able to find out more with my friend.
What is wrong with your hands? Keep in mind, you have 4 fingers.
I do have 4 fingers. Nothing. Is there something? Are you okay?
Sorry. You were saying?
Put them on my lap. Like, are we at a table?
No,
Standing?
you are sitting in. Well, there is a central pentagonal kind of coffee table,
Okay.
and you are seated in chairs, and there is a sofa and that kind of.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
So, as a Boros officer, we sometimes use ghosts in our investigation.
Indeed.
Like, we will interview ghosts of the killed. How long do ghosts generally stay around? Is there a chance that Mebin's ghost is still here?
This is information that you would probably just know.
Uh-huh.
I would say that it's been less than a week
Mm-hmm.
since Mebin's demise. It is likely that if there is a ghost, it is still around.
Okay.
Would you mind if we ask you a few questions regarding what happened to Mebin's?
Of course. What do you want to ask? I'm sorry, it's been a difficult few days.
Sorry for your loss, love.
Thank you. It is,
Speaking of your loss, Mebins.
yes, he's a great man. He was very smart. He was studying to be a professor at Prism University.
Any chance part of him still around?
Yes, we brought him home. He's here.
And what about his ghost?
His
Any
ghost.
chance it's stuck around? I know they don't always, but if we could get any information from him, even from the echo of him that might still be floating around, it could be very useful.
The ghosts. Mebins was studying the ghosts. He was looking up the origins of something called the Ghost Quarter, I think. What was it called?
I think so the Ghost Quarter is like a section of the city, right?
Used to be.
It's like the old Ghost Quarter.
The old Ghost Quarter, yeah.
But I feel like it's the sort of thing, because it's like sort of abandoned now.
So Ravnica is unique in that it was sort of sealed off from all the other planes, and it also had a blister on it that kept souls trapped. So when someone died, the soul would remain on Ravnica and would go to the Ghost Quarter. That has since shifted slightly, and not everyone becomes a ghost.
Right.
And there is no more Ghost Quarter per se.
But the old Ghost Quarter.
The old Ghost Quarter is a historically known fact, and there is a ton of ghost activity that remains on Ravnica. For example, the leader of the Orzhov Guild is the Ghost Council. And you just saw a ghost today. So,
But I kind of assume if the Ghost Quarter is sort of an area that's not heavily populated and maybe still has some superstitions and stuff around it, it might be the sort of place that, like, when criminals are going to lay low, they, like, go and spend some time in the Ghost Quarter. So I might be familiar with it just from it being the sort of place that we might go to look for people. This might be a huge stretch, but it seemed possible.
Mebins was interested in the Ghost Quarter. I think it was called Agrium? Agarim? I'm not the book smart one. I was the business-minded one. We own a greater part of the city's transportation. We manufacture Zeppelins and lighter-than-air devices. Mebins was less interested in the family business, but he was still a credit to his family in historical pursuits. He was wanting to be a professor at Prism University. At this point, you can tell he's sort of repeating
Yeah.
himself.
Yeah.
Roll insight.
10.
I have a dirty 20.
Noise. We got a 16.
Actually, I have a 21.
I got an 8 on insight. So.
Okay. So whoever got higher than a 15. Who got higher than a 15? You two. Okay. He appears to be in some sort of daze or trance, or he is not all there. Something is happening.
I'm gonna lean over and kind of whisper to Velma and Lucian and Tudor. There's something going on here. He's focused on those candles half the time. All the fives here.
I'm going to... I've been fanning myself anyway while we've been doing this, and I am going to kind of start humming to myself, and maybe like singing a couple of lines of like kind of like just like I'm lost in thought, and so I'm just gonna sing. Feel the pulse, the energy, the love, the reverie, the dedication, and the sound go sit you for a time, my friend. Of daydreaming on your own. I'm detecting detect magic. I mean detect thoughts.
Detect thoughts.
Yeah.
Okay.
On obviously just
On
Karen's
on
I don't have detect
Lendic.
magic. I don't have like counter charm yet at my level of. I
Lendic.
think I have to level 6 to get that.
Oh.
So I'm just trying to see if I can even like pick up anything.
If you can get in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. See if you can
It's a
see
good
what's
call.
in Lenny's
get all
head.
up in there.
Yeah.
I want to feel like if I want to feel like if I feel like it's his thoughts or something is like
Detect-
overwriting.
Right.
Detect thoughts.
I can
you
tell
can
you.
read the thoughts of certain creatures. You initially learn the surface thoughts. This is the same thing that you cast last time.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you go into Lendic's mind a little bit. You go into the foyer of Lendic's mind.
Yeah. I haven't pushed yet to where he would need to make a saving throw, and I'm gonna see what I get right now, and then I'll decide from there.
You sort of you get in there, and it's a little complicated. Roll me while you're in the foyer of Lendic's mind. Let's go on a brain rave real quick. You're standing in the foyer of Lendic's mind. And you see a sort of black and white sepia-toned representation of the house that you're standing in, and Lendic standing in front of you, and it's sort of a little bit wispy and wavy. You can tell that there are doors that are shut.
Okay.
Roll for me. Let's do insight, but also if you have, just roll insight.
Insight. Okay.
I guess you can add your arcana if you have arcana.
Okay.
Because you're not actually standing there, you're in their head with a spell.
Okay. So
We decided to do. We're just going on a brain rave. Right
Yeah.
Right.
Brain.
Okay, so that's gonna be a dirty 20.
Nice.
You peer closer at the doors, and the doors sort of dissipate and fade. And behind the doors, you sense a different version of Lendic. You feel Lendic and his presentation in front of you, welcoming you to his home, being a welcoming host. But behind the door, where the door used to be, you see someone afraid. Really, sort of pushing something away behind him.
Okay.
You see them sort of getting something out of the light.
Okay. I'm gonna move towards that.
You'll walk towards that in the foyer. I'm going to qualify that as digging deeper.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Great. So now this is a what?
This is a. It doesn't say it on here. I think it's a wisdom saving throw.
Does this mean we're breaking into the Just Karen's brain estate?
But
It's not you.
It's not
me
me.
doing it. So I feel like I feel like he's being held captive, and I'm trying to help him.
But did you fill out the proper paperwork for this?
3 is a fail.
Okay.
So you walk to that back room past the gregarious Lendic.
Yeah. Let me find.
And
what
you
this
peek
says
in
here.
and you see Lendic sort of pushing away.
Okay. If it fails, you gain insight into its reasoning, its emotional state, and something that looms large in its mind. If it's that's fails. If it succeeds, okay, yeah, that's what happens. So, Yeah, and then it goes into flavor about like how you can
Sure,
use an
sure.
investigation to detect what they're thinking.
You see him essentially pushing like a box about this big. Maybe it's about, I don't know, the size of a locker, like a foot locker. But it appears to be made of stone.
Okay.
The stone locker, it has striations, has etchings into it, making essentially 5 cubes.
Okay.
And
love those 5s.
And each of the cubes has a symbol in it that you do not recognize immediately.
Okay.
But it has a symbol in it. You can make a history check.
Okay.
Just straight history.
I also am going to, while I'm doing this,
Yep.
I'm going to, that's going to be a 17 on the history check. But I'm also going to cast Encode Thoughts, and I'm going to pull, like, the strand out of my head.
That
like,
saw what you see in the brainwave?
It has the symbols. And I'm going to, like, I'm doing it kind of like, because I'm like focused. I'm kind of doing it like I have my fans going on.
Okay.
And I'm
still going to have you roll sleight of hand because this is still a visual thing while you're doing something else.
That's fine.
Yeah, do that.
Okay.
So while that's happening, you're sort of still sitting there with.
It's only an 8 sleight of hand.
Is there any other things that you guys are saying?
I was going to ask him. I was going to ask him. Do you know what happened to Mebbins? Like, do you understand how his fate came about?
No, he died. We took him home, though. He's here. We don't know exactly why or how.
What's happening in his brain as I say that, as he says that to her?
You see the room sort of shifts away, and it becomes a different room where there is, in this house it seems, a room with no windows. Seems to be sort of an offshoot room that has Mebbins in state in a box, essentially. I can take you to him if you think that might help.
That would be great, absolutely. If you would not mind showing us the way, we would love to.
Of course, that is where the rest of the family is as well. Please, come with me. And he will get up and move out of that room and towards the room that was at the far point.
I think this is when she
Walking
does
in.
the encode thoughts.
Encode thoughts,
Yeah.
sure. While you are looking, you take a history check and look at the insignias that are down, and you, with a 17, you do recognize. You've heard of the Cult of Yor.
Okay.
The Cult of Yor
Running out of pace.
is a splinter group in Ravnica. Most people in Ravnica don't believe in gods.
Okay.
Gods are not really a thing that exists. There is Mont Celestia, of course. There is the demon Rakdos. And then there is the boar god of the Gruul. But it's not really a godly place.
Okay.
But the Cult of Yor believe in the old gods. A group of 5 ultra-powerful beings known as the Nephilim.
Yeah, when all the 5s are coming out,
Good
I was
old
like,
Nephilim.
And these look like the symbols of the Nephilims.
Okay.
Great.
Lendic Jeskarens will lead you into the... Are you following?
Yes.
Yeah. I hand when his back is turned, that's when I do the encode thoughts, and I hand it to Astaroth because I'm still kind of casting a spell, so I kind of just like absentmindedly hand. You just saw me pull a strand out of my brain that had, and I'm like, and you can kind of tell that I'm maybe doing something to him. I don't know, but it has the Nephilim symbols on it,
That's
and
a
like
brain booger.
yeah.
Gross.
I only hand it to you because you're next to me. I mean, if you're close to me, I maybe I'll hand it to you instead. But
Well,
yeah,
you
funnier-
you choose who you want to hand it to.
it's
I just-
funny if Astaroth
Yeah,
gets
yeah.
it.
Lendic
Astaroth
will-
will just take it and be like,
And then hand it to you. Yeah.
Lendic will open the door. Please, go ahead and have a look.
All right.
All right.
I'll just
Walk in there.
Yeah.
I'll try and hand it to Lucian, low key.
What is this? What do I do with this?
What is it?
Her thought.
Oh,
Yeah,
her
but
thoughts.
What is it actually?
If you look, I don't know how the tech thoughts
So
works as
there-
far as like me. Am I like kind of in a trance right now, or am I
No.
kind of like okay?
You're good.
I just kind of like point at the thing in your hand, and I kind of point at his brain, like.
So
and
you
then,
can
like-
put that in your head if you want to.
You know what detect thoughts looks like as a spell when it's cast, right?
I don't know if I.
Not in code thoughts, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, but I mean,
detect
like,
thoughts is
you
fine.
know that I cast detect thoughts, right? Your character does.
Well, I thought you were hiding it, so up to
No,
you.
maybe not. Okay, then
Okay,
then
up to
don't.
you.
Okay.
But I will take this and pocket it as best I can. Can I pocket it?
Sure.
Yeah, it lasts for 8
fits in
hours.
a pocket.
Yeah.
It lasts for 8 hours.
It's like an ephemeral.
Keep that memory in your
It's
pocket.
not
That's
quite
funny,
paper,
I like
it's like
that.
a weird
It's a
spirit.
sushi.
You enter this room. It is a 5-pointed room. This is a pentagonal
Of course
room.
Pattern.
You see a box that is coffin-like on a table about 20 feet away. There is no one else currently in this room. This room also has no windows.
I thought the rest of the family was here.
Who do you say that to?
To
Lende?
Lindrick. I'm like, where?
Oh, they're all here.
I'm. What's happening in his brain right now?
He is at this point, as you have dug deeper, he knows you're there now.
Yeah.
He will see you.
Wait, does he know if he failed his save?
Did he fail?
Yeah, he got like a 3.
Oh, he failed.
Yeah.
Okay.
He like super failed.
Right.
I can't remember if he knows or not.
Oops, failed.
Sorry, I have it.
A
Hang on.
little important.
Just a little important.
Just a little bit.
Little bit.
Little
I
bit.
gotta know.
Detect thoughts. You initially learn.
So it looks like we're fighting a Nephilim.
Oh yeah, either way, the target knows that
No,
you're probably
no
knows
thanks.
mine.
Pass.
Right, once you
It
ship
knows.
Okay.
Dude, I just
So he
opened
knows you're there.
my book.
Okay.
To the
I don't think
detect
he's even
thoughts
trying to
page.
hide
Oh,
it. I
that's
think
amazing.
she thinks he's in danger and is trying to help him.
Right. So he will be pushing these boxes off to the side, and then look up at you and smile. And Lendick will say, "Yes, we're all here. And now, so are you." And
We
he
just
will
walk into.
close the door.
Ah!
Bum bum bum.
I'm really bad about walking into things.
As he closes the door and it latches shut, the lights go out, and the floor falls from underneath you,
Oh no.
What?
and you begin falling in darkness and falling. And that's going to end the episode.
Ah!
You guys have accidentally stepped into an H.P. Lovecraft story.
Wonderful.
Woo! Nephilim cult!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Nephilim cultists. Yeah, they're
Yay.
a little weird.
Sorry.
Oh boy!
Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us for this fun episode. I had a ton of fun this episode.
really
That was fun.
We had some really fun vignettes. Yeah, that's gonna do it for this week. There is no talk pact this week. No talk pact this week as Dom and Garav are off doing stuff.
Can they still be
He's
donating
here,
to
but
your
he's
thing this
not
week, or is
here.
it?
I mean, you can still donate to Extra Life.
Yeah,
on
please
my
donate
page.
to Extra Life,
Yeah.
and go ahead and pay attention to Game Hole Con if there are things going on
do it.
associated with that.
Yeah.
And if you have any questions that you would be asking during Talk Pact, feel free to contact us on our Discord, which is Saving Throw Show Discord, which we have a Broken Pact sub Discord for, not subscriber, but a sub
Sub-channel.
Mini.
sub-channel.
Yeah.
Sub-channel.
And I'm
Yeah,
not on
thank you,
this
Subtle.
Discord typically, so since we're not doing a talk pact, if anybody does have questions about the whole Demure reveal and like things like that, and like building the character and stuff like that, please feel free to tweet at me. 'cause
Absolutely.
I'd be happy to talk about it.
There is a giveaway that I assume is happening in the chat right now. Congratulations to the winners. Condolences to those who did not win. Apologies.
Come back next week.
Come back next week. Exactly right.
Probably would have won, but you fell through a floor.
Exactly. Please tell the folks at home where they can reach you.
I am Jordan Pridgeon, and you can find me on Twitter at Jordan Pigeon. I am also on twitch.tv/Saving Throw Show. That's this studio and this channel that we produce this show. On Fridays for Wildcards, our Weird West show, and that's coming really close to the end of this campaign.
Oh.
There's a lot going on. And then Monday, there is also going to be a East Texas University show that we are doing there, and I'll be on that.
Nice.
I'm Riley Silverman, and I am on Twitter at Riley J. Silverman and Instagram at Riley Silverman. And we're still currently in this season of Doctor Who, so you can check out my reviews every Sunday on Nerdist.com.
Cool. I'm Gaurav, and you can reach me at all socials at DoubleGXG. That's the word double and GXG. And you can go to my Extra Life page to donate and choose stuff for my character, which I assume I'll be playing this night tonight, is bit.ly/XLGaurav. So extra large me.
I'm Ashlyn Rose. You can find me on Twitter at Ashlyn Rose or on twitch.tv/Ashlyn_Rose, where every Monday I'm currently reading through the original Ravnica books and going through there for the stories. So if you do want to get caught up, you can get them on Kindle and follow along with me.
Very cool. If you want to learn about the Nephilims especially,
Yes.
Ooh, yeah.
you should be able to do that. Have you gotten there in the books yet?
I have, but not in this stream.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I just finished book 2 personally. We're like halfway through book 1 right now on the stream.
Hi everybody. I'm the internet's Ruben Bressler. You can follow me on all my social media channels at MOXREUBY, Mox Ruby. Please follow The Broken Pact by following at Saving Throw Show on Twitter, and also by following the hashtag TheBrokenPactRPG, and also by going to thebrokenpactrpg.com, where you can find our bios, fan art, episode
Recaps.
VODs, recaps. And yeah, I would like to thank several people. First of all, Domzook, Benevolent Overlord. Thank you so much. I'd also like to, of course, as I try to do every week, but often forget, thank A.E. Marling and Emmett Fury, who've been helping me craft this story. We are going off in some interesting and strange directions, and I would be totally lost without them. I also want to thank twitch.tv/D&D, and I want to thank D&D, Magic the Gathering, and the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica for all the support that they've given us here on The Broken Pact, and we do hope that you join us next week. So, if there's nothing else, go ahead.
Do tweet us. The book is out. Let us know what you
Oh,
think.
yeah,
We'd love to
absolutely.
hear what you're
Okay.
brewing as
Ooh.
well.
Yeah, I would love to hear
Absolutely.
about your campaign.
Give me ideas. I need more ideas. So as soon as they escape from this Lovecraft adventure that they've fallen into, maybe they'll be able to escape. But for now, for Ashlyn, Gaurav, Riley, and Jordan, I am Ruben Bressler, and we'll see you next time on The Broken Pact.